What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Out of Our League. This is episode 25, I think, or 26. I forget. I just looked it up yesterday and I already forgot because did my research. My name is Gage. I'll be your host today. Joining me down below, we have Bennett. Please be excited.
What's up? Gage, before we go on,
Yes?
I just need to say that Phil's not here. He normally does his pretty good with his guests, so he's asked me to fill in for him.
Do it.
I can't do a solid snake, but I just want to say, hi, Corey, you're pretty good. Ho-ho. That's my bad Mickey Mouse, okay?
That's spot on.
That was something, all right.
That's the best Mickey Mouse I've ever heard.
That was something,
Thanks, buddy.
all right. Next to him is Kamal.
You could say that Ben's taking the Mickey.
You're in great form today, buddy.
Just wait for it. Just wait for it. Hello.
Wait. Gage is like, why did I come back? What?
Down in the
Why did I
left-hand
come back
corner.
to my break?
Joining us once again is McKenna.
Hi, how's it going?
Top right corner, joining us once again, is Caesar.
Fire up the jug, baby. Let's go.
And then top middle special guest for this week. You guys probably know him as the GIF master for Kinda Funny and What's Good Games. We have Corey Cudney in the house. What's up, Corey?
I would like to start the episode at the beginning saying that I just subscribed to Caesar's Twitch channel, and I expect to be on the back of that
Oh, did you
board
actually subscribe to my channel?
by the end of this episode.
Oh, did you actually subscribe? Let me take a
I did, 100%. Also, thank you for bringing me on.
Whilst he's checking, some people call him the gift master. But I like to say that he's the gift that keeps on giving. Corey Cudney.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. That's the fun out of the way.
That's the one we were waiting for?
Yeah, pretty much.
You so close, Camille. So close. But you ruined it by having to put the T at the end of GIF. If you would have just said GIF that keeps on giving, it would have been perfect.
Some people wouldn't understand otherwise. Yeah.
Oh, Camille
That's
hates.
the point of puns, Camille.
I know, but not everyone gets them. That's the problem. I'm trying to ease people into
the
puns.
point of puns.
Puns for beginners.
Listen.
Okay.
Not everyone's like advanced big brain level like you, Gage. I'm getting beginners over the line, so they're starting to understand the puns. You know.
This is puns
You know,
101.
I'm all inclusive when it comes to puns.
So, before we
That's
go
my
on with the
shitty
episode,
excuse.
I want to bring up an old memory I have of Corey. You're not gonna remember this.
Jesus Christ. This could go
There was
horribly wrong.
I think it was like last year. DiGiorno found the Kinda Funny GIFs, and they were like, "Who made these?" And I tagged you, but I tagged the wrong account.
Oh my gosh.
I
did
think you have like a professional account.
Maybe.
I think
solidly.
you have
there
like,
was a,
you have
like
like a
at
second
reverse
account.
Corey that used to exist.
Yeah,
And now it's like a dead account. But I
yeah.
do
And then
remember
I
this
tagged that
one.
account. And then I tagged that account, and then I realized, oh shit, I tagged the wrong account. And then you still went in there with that account, and you just so yeah. If you have any connection with DiGiorno, you're welcome, because that was me.
Oh yeah, thank you. They sent me
Basically,
like
what Caesar's
free
saying is that-
coupons.
Yeah,
Thank
he wants
you.
some pizzas from you,
Can
Corey.
you please send me some pizza? No, you know what? No, he paid up because he actually did subscribe.
Those were like, that's true. Those were like the most awkward to cash in, by the way. I was at HEB and like, it's like a certificate that's like red and DiGiorno. And I hand it over and the lady's like, what the hell is this? And like, she
don't
had to get her
believe it.
manager over. It was a whole thing. And I was like, I swear, I'm just trying to get a free pizza,
Also, I
man.
forget you're from
Like,
Austin. I forget you're from,
yeah.
I forget you're from Austin. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. I owe the DiGiorno trip to you, Caesar.
Right.
We're just
it
waiting
is.
anxiously for him to fuck
I
up
know.
Corey's
Boom,
name.
Corey,
So I
nice.
just went for the basic Corey.
Did I misspell
Okay,
it?
No, you're good. That's perfect.
You should
That's
put
perfect.
Kory. Just make it the worst possible.
I'll make it darker later. I'll definitely like shade it in later, make it a little thicker.
Guys, can we redo the intro? Because I've thought of another one now. Because we've got Corey in the house.
Nope, it's too late.
If anyone gets that.
Growing up when that show debuted, right? And so everybody thought they were clever like the first time that they said it, and it was like a whole thing. But That's So Raven, it's classic. Okay, so I can never be mad.
I think I
can
even
never be
had
mad.
teachers in like junior high or middle school or something that they would do that when like there was a Corey in the class. They would do that, and it's like, yo, we're like 15 now. Shut the hell up. It ain't funny.
Yeah, you're like, you don't get to do that, teacher. That's not for you.
Oh my god.
I'm in the White House now.
That's my word.
Oh god. I forgot that was the plot of the show.
Yeah, his dad's the chef.
His dad's the head chef
Raven-
at the White House, and for some reason, his son can live in the White House too.
Yeah, everybody knows.
So-
That's
Show
what
that.
I mean,
dogs, cats,
You
and
can't really
sons.
complain. The
He's
fact
allowed at the White
like
House.
Raven's like a psychic, so you can't really you can't take
He's a
anything.
national security threat.
Yeah,
They've
right.
known of Raven for a long time.
Oh my god. That's something I haven't thought about those shows in a long time. Jeez.
I think about him all the time, Gage.
Only one I ever think. The one
From Corey in the house to like making gifts. This is the Corey Cudney episode. That's the title.
Speaking of something you probably thought long and hard about, I have something. I have a question for you that's a real head scratcher. From @Certain Affinity. Yes, hello, first time listener here. Question: how many Corys would it take to run faster than the Flash?
So I did this math, right? I know he's behind the Certain Affinity account, and I was like, Jay, I owe this to you, okay? My fastest mile, 10 minutes, very easy. So 6 miles a minute, right?
Okay.
The Flash, 2,532. So super easy, just divide the two. It takes 422 Corys to match a Flash. Boom, done.
Whoa.
There you
There you
go.
go.
I came ready. I don't know if those, I don't know if those values are 100% accurate, but I
So-
did
No,
the I
maybe
did the
not, but
calculation.
more
I have
accurate
this
than I would have
math
gotten. So.
placement. I have this math placement assessment. Can you help me with that? You seem to be very good at math.
I just used the calculator app.
That actually seems like very easy math to do. What you just did there, yeah, just divide it.
Yeah. I
It
did the
sounds like
challenge,
it.
okay?
I didn't understand any
It's
of
like
it.
the Pepsi challenge.
Corey was talking about it. It's like, oh, you take 2,576, you divide it by 2, and that's it. I'm like, what? Is that like 5? Is that
so
7?
early for that,
What's
dude.
the answer? I don't know.
You weren't ready
is
for
a-
the real answer, and I had it prepared, okay?
There is a way you can get one Corey to one Flash, but might get you arrested. So maybe I won't recommend it.
Or you can
There
just
we go.
Photoshop it.
There you go. There's the pun game for you.
Okay, that was actually pretty good, Camille. I'll
you.
give you
I
that
liked
one.
God damn it, I just got it.
I don't know if there's normally a structure to this show, but I
No,
feel
there
like
isn't.
we're off the rails. Okay,
We're
good.
just like
Apparently.
chatting.
We just
Okay, good.
We
I
just
was
hang
like-
out and we ask questions.
Yeah, this is a garbage
Dope.
truck on fire. Sorry, a dumpster. We're a dumpster on fire. Legal reasons we can't
You
use the
can't
other
say
one.
garbage legal, yeah.
Yeah.
They call it a friendly interrogation, Corey. That's what it is.
I like it.
That's kind of accurate, honestly. We always invite people on. It's like, hey, we're just gonna hang out, maybe ask you some questions, and the whole thing's like, hey, so on October 27th of 2007, you did this one thing. Tell us about it, and it's just like the most just in your face questioning ever.
We
Yeah, the
go in
last question
depth.
always is. Sorry, go on, Caesar.
No, we go in depth, but it's never as in depth as like Hot Ones. Have you ever seen that show?
Oh yeah,
It's
'cause
never
Yes,
that
yeah.
deep.
you see,
I will go get some hot wings if you
That
want.
guy will find your social security number.
yeah.
Well, I was just about to say that's the last question of I was like, what's your PIN number?
We should probably actually ask who Corey is, though, for people that are listening that may not know who Corey is.
I was going
We're
to,
like what, 10 minutes in?
but then like Kumail did not one but 2 bad intro puns, and I kind of lost track of the whole thing.
Listen, you
so,
can say what you like, but we got some mileage out of it, so that's another 10
I
minutes.
kind of
added to the
briefly-
episode.
It's
fair.
You're welcome.
I
fair,
kind of
Kumail.
said that Corey does make gifts, and you did too. So it's like
yeah,
there.
Yeah,
There. That's all you need
did.
to know.
it doesn't give.
Listen, I thought about that the entire week. I had to get it out, all right? Like, I just had to get
Corey,
it out.
who are you?
Thank you,
Yeah,
Susan.
my
Thank you.
name is it's Corey. My 9 to 5, as I always put it, I'm a video editor at a game studio here in Austin, Texas called Certain Affinity. My spiel is that you've probably never heard of us, but we've helped make the games that you definitely know of, like Halo and Call of Duty and Doom and Crackdown and all
Never heard
kinds
of
of
them.
cool stuff. Yeah, they're like little no-name games, but like we put our hearts and souls into them. And it's a shame that Philip's not here because he is the biggest Age of Booty fan that I know of, and that was the other game that we made. And so
Surprised me at all.
I have never played it, okay? I didn't want to say this at work. I've never told the work people this, but I've never played it, but it looks looks interesting. It's a Capcom published thing, and I'm just like, it's like $4 on
Capcom,
on Xbox. Yeah, Resident Evil's cool now.
Phil's like the unofficial Capcom manager. Like he will promote anything Capcom.
That makes
doesn't
like
matter what it is.
so much more sense now.
I'd promote Dragon's Dogma 2. They made it.
Rip, man. I
fucking
Dragon Dogma, another one.
Dude, it's the 9-year anniversary of it today, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, I'm gonna
Fantastic
be real. Okay,
game.
somebody put a pin in my intro. I'll be right back to that. But
Okay.
Dragon's Dogma is a cool ass name. I don't know anything about it. Is it an RTS? Is it?
It's an action RPG, so it plays very similar to like The Witcher. So it's third person. Oh man, I haven't been able to do this. Like I don't think ever in any of these shows. So Dragon's Dogma is fantastic. If you're a fan of RPGs, if you like JRPGs or Western RPGs, you're in. Like this game plays like a typical game. So if you want to hit somebody, you just press the attack button. It's very kind of in your face combat. But the cool thing about the combat is there's 9 total classes you can pick. So you have basically 2 levels of each. So you have like your archer class, your swordsman class, and your mage class. But then there's 3 hybrid classes that mix them. And so you can constantly switch back and forth between your classes, do different, attack combinations, different gear, stuff like that. There's a party system, so you're able to create your character and create your secondary character, and then you recruit other people's characters to be in your party. Big open world, plenty of quests to do. It's one of the games that has like the most replay value ever. I've beat that game. Oh god, what was it? Last time I counted, I think between PS3 and PS4.
Too many times. That's the amount. Too many times.
Like 20 something times, I think.
Jesus Christ!
So there's standard mode. There's
Not prepared for a 2 in that.
but the
First ever like
it's not like shut up, Camille. It's not like
We had
Robin's.
2 hours of this.
Shut
He
up,
will
Camille.
not stop
Shut up,
talking
Camille.
about Dragon's
Shut
Dogma.
up, Camille.
Please make him stop.
You let me talk now, Camille. I had to deal with your shitty puns. You let me talk, all right?
That is fair.
Okay. It's not like Nier in the sense that you have to beat it multiple times to get the proper ending, okay? It's like you can actually beat it once, experience the whole game, you're good to go. But you can keep doing new game plus, leveling your character, getting better loot, do some of the side quests you may have missed, stuff like that. And it's so addicting that I just keep going back to replay it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do a swordsman class this time, so I just have a sword and shield. And it's like the next time I'm gonna be an archer.
I love
so
that Pokemon game.
I got a bow. And then the next time I'll be a dude. It's oh god, Dragon's Dogma does not get enough love. That game is just phenomenal. Phenomenal,
You make up for it. 100%. You make up for it, Gage.
dude. I've bought 3 copies of it. I think.
God damn.
4. I think only have 3 copies of it.
But then you made me buy it as well. So
True.
that's
I think
technically
Robin also bought it too.
No,
Maybe
you
he
have
already
4.
had it. I don't remember.
Not 5.
Aside from editing videos at Certain Affinity, I also host a podcast that is called Just an Editor Podcast, and it's just me talking to editors and stuff. We hang out, we do stuff. I've brought on like Jeff Ford, who did like the Captain America movies. That's the word I was looking for. And the Avengers movies, and Jim Eberly, who edited seasons 3 and 4 of Game of Thrones, the good ones. We recently had Matt Sipple from
that person's not responsible for the Starbucks cup.
He is not responsible for the Starbucks cup. But fun fact, he did tell me that he was like HBO, like I hope I'm not getting. He told the story, so I can't get him in trouble for it. HBO like forgot to send him like half of the footage, and he had to request it. So it makes sense that a coffee cup got through.
Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not super surprising, but yeah. So Matt Sipple, who did Invincible, was on last week, and that was dope. And then yes, I also make kind of funny GIFs, and that is me.
Corey, can I ask about the name of the podcast? Is that like a reference
definitely.
from Under Siege, or is that I'm just a cook?
To answer your question, I would like to ask you a question. What is Under Siege?
Just a movie, some movie I found on IMDb.
Checkmate.
Yeah, I'm just a cook.
I would like to say that it is a reference to that.
We can just pretend
Is the title of your podcast a reference to the movie Captain Marvel, in which the seminal fight scene features a song by I forgot her name, but it's a song called "I'm Just a Girl."
It is not. It predates Captain Marvel. Does it? It does not predate Captain Marvel. I'm going to start
Marvel
saying
was
that.
1992 is the question.
Captain Marvel was between Infinity War and Endgame, so I really.
Oh,
don't
it definitely does predate Captain Marvel. Never mind. I take it back. No, I used to work at a news station, right? And I just made commercials. That's when I started making the kind of funny GIFs when I was at this news station. And so I was just editing commercials, and there was a good period of time where it was just me, an editor, and my boss, who was our supervisor, our producer, who like was in charge of scripting and filming the commercials, had left. So it was up to me now to like script these commercials and film these commercials and edit the commercials, and it was like a whole thing. And so we would get like people come up, just ask random shit like there's a lawyer named Dean Boyd. I'll just throw his name out. Named Dean Boyd, who was like, "Hey, can you make me fly like Superman?" And I was like, I guess, yeah, I can try. And look, I'm gonna say it turned out pretty good. But people would just like throw random requests at me. And privately, my go-to thing was always like, man, I'm just an editor. Don't ask me, man. And it just stuck. And when I was thinking of a podcast, I was like, I'll just make it just an editor. Although I do fear sometimes when I hit up an editor, they're gonna take like offense to it and be like, what the hell do you mean just an editor? I do blah, 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 blah. But it hasn't happened yet. So far, everybody's chill about it. So that is the origins of the name.
So how long has it been going? You said the origin of the name. How did the podcast itself come to be? Did you just wake up one morning and think, oh, let me start a podcast? Then like, how often do you post?
So I have this weird tradition, and I call it tradition, but we're only at like 2 things now. But whenever I got the job at the news station in 2017, that was my first like editing job, where I would come to work at 8 and leave at 5, and I was editing all day. And so what was like a passion that I did outside of working at Best Buy now turns into, okay, this is your job. And some of the magic kind of left it at first. And so I was like, well, this sucks. And I lost a lot of motivation for a little bit. And then I took on a project. And that was not the podcast, but that's just some seasoning to add to the podcast. When I got the job at the game studio, not really the same thing where I didn't lose motivation. I was more excited than ever, but it was another case of like, oh, well, now I'm just doing this all day. And now it's like another layer of now I'm adding video games to it. And so I went a few months and I was rewatching or watching Stranger Things leading up to Stranger Things 3. I had never seen it, but I was like, oh, everybody says it's good. I'll give it a try. And I really dug it. And Stranger Things does this really cool thing with their edits where they do match cuts better than almost any TV show that I know, where they will carry motion over from one shot to the other. Like if a car is driving by, you'll see the camera boom, and it'll cut in the middle. And so the motion carries over into the next shot. And same thing, like if somebody presses on like a radio, it's like, and then music starts in the next shot. So you mentally put that together. It was just really well put together. And so I was like, well, dang, I want to interview the people who made that. And so I looked on IMDb, and turns out they just straight up put email addresses on IMDb. You got to pay for the pro subscription, which is $20 a month, way too much. But they just throw email addresses on. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to start emailing people. And so I did. And lo and behold, a lot of them answered. A lot of them did not, but a lot of them did. And so it's very sporadic, honestly, because I'm really limited by what people's agents are going to do, what their schedule is. And so and also I really only like to contact people of works that I am familiar with and I like and I can talk about. And recently I had a company come to me that like I guess has ties with Adobe, and they were like, hey, we have like a bunch of guests, clients that can be guests on your podcast if you want. And I was like, yeah. And so they've been sending me guests, and I like to, look at them. It was super cool. It was so random because I was like getting kind of downtrodden's not the word for it. This is completely the wrong word.
Overwhelmed?
No, like, so I did the season 1 and it was like 6 episodes. People just stopped replying pretty much. And so I was like, okay, well, that's a good first season. I started contacting people for season 2, and I got a couple, and they were really cool guests. And then all of a sudden it was another drought. And so I was like, well, nobody's hitting me up again. So, whatever, I guess I'll just end it for now. And yeah, I got an email and they're like, hey, like we work with Adobe and we have a bunch of editors on our client list. Like, would you be interested? And I was like, heck yes, that would be awesome. And so they just started sending me people, and they give me the option of like, looking at them. They give me a press release. And so it's led to some of the most interesting stuff because I didn't know about these people beforehand, and they always have sent me screeners for everything up until the last interview that I just did. But like seeing these movies that I would have never seen before, like R#J that was edited by Lam Nguyen, which is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but through, I learned this term, screen life, where that's the term for all of the like, hey, we're going to show you a movie through Zoom, and hey, we're going to show you a phone, retelling of the movie. And so that was R#J, and it was super cool. Like I went into it so like not prepared for it to be that great, and all credit goes to Lam and his team because it was like phenomenal, and it brought me a couple of new little indie songs that I now have on my Spotify. But yeah, so that's to kind of answer your question.
Can I follow up on that as well? So has a podcast now replaced you sort of streaming on Twitch? Because I think I remember you doing like a GIF tutorial once, like you live doing GIFs on a live stream. And I don't remember seeing like much after that.
Yes and no. So I did it a few times and I really enjoyed doing it. But a couple of factors led to me ending that. One, what we're experiencing right now, I don't know if it comes across on y'all's end, but I'm in a giant wooden floored apartment. And so it's very echoey. And also working from home. So I used to have one tower, my personal computer, and then I would just come home and like be like, cool, I'm gonna stream GIF making blah, blah, blah. And I'll just do that. Now I have my personal PC, which has not been hooked up in a year and a half. And I have 2 work computers right here that we switch between. And then, so if I ever want to switch to the regular PC, which in all good conscience has all the stuff on it, it's like a lot of wire stuff, and so I was like, I ain't about it. Although it is fun, and I do want to get back to it. I tried to find a 2-bedroom place here in Austin a little bit earlier in the year to have a little studio, one that I can control the sound quality with a little bit better, and the lighting, because the lighting in here also sucks. And so it's like one day they will return, but the podcast also helped me fill that little void as well. So kind of a little bit of both.
Just to say your audio's great, so I don't think you worry about doing that much. But I can understand you wanting to, get perfect. A place where you feel fully comfortable. Yeah.
Did you at any point, Corey, think that email that you got sent was a scam of some kind?
100%.
all these amazing editors. Just click subscribe here. Send us all your information.
I remember listening to a podcast where like some people that pitched the show to Netflix, they got an email from a manager in LA that's like saying that like he's a big fan or whatever, and they're like, this might be a scam, but we'll go forth with it. Just because it could be a funny story. Is that what you did?
Exactly. Yeah, I debated on replying for like a few days because you get it, and I'm like, I don't know this at all. And you Google it, and it's like, okay, well, the company has a website, but the website's kind of basic. And then like, the girl who messaged me like has a Twitter account with not very many followers, but the followers she does have, not all, but a lot of them have film connections. And so I did my due diligence of stalking online to like figure out if it was a responsible thing to do or not, because like the Just an Editor brand, A, doesn't really exist, and B, like isn't that protected. But I'm also just like you said, it's like it could just be a funny story. So yeah, I'll bite. And it also helped because she sent me 2 press releases in the first email. It was like, hey, this is like a good example of what we have to offer. One was our #J, and the other was The End of Us, which was a rom-com about COVID, and it was handled much better than you think, I promise. It has such a, like, that's not a great way to describe it, but it was actually good. I liked it. So yeah, no, I did not trust it at first. Not at all.
All right. McKenna, do you have any questions for Mr. Corey Cudney?
Of course, yes. Okay, so first, it's my own question. I'm starting out editing. I'm going to school more or less for it. I want to do that. Do you have any tips for people who are beginning to edit?
Yeah. Just, this is, I don't know if this is going to be the right way to say this, but like, just like, you're not going to mess up the program. Just throw shit at a wall, you know, because I figured out at way too late, you can always do a preference reset in like Adobe and stuff. And so like, if you want to, just explore the program, because one of the things that editing programs and a lot of the in-depth programs that you can do in the creative field, they all have the same problem, that they all use icons that are very significant, to the people who know them. But if you're looking at it, you're just like, what? Okay, this cursor is white and this cursor is black. Like, what's the difference between the two? And so it's just like, just play around in it. And also, like, don't feel that you need to hop into the tippy top at the beginning. It'll be a little bit different for somebody like you who has access to like a college email, and you can use that for like the college Adobe suite, which is way cheaper than dropping the like $650 a year that I have to now on the dang thing. And so that helps a whole lot as well. But a lot of people who, you know, aren't comfortable with dropping even that type of money, there's really good solutions like DaVinci Resolve and stuff like that. But also, there's like a tutorial for everything. And so if there's anything that you ever want to like just try to do, like there's always a tutorial for it. And that's, this last thing that I'll say is asking a lot, but it's just also because I'm me. But like, always just be watching stuff about like editing and stuff. Not always, but like on a weekend or whatever, just throw on a tutorial for like 20 minutes because you'll never know when it'll come in handy. A relevant example is Brian Beam, who used to do all of the motion graphics over at Rooster Teeth, had a conference one time where he described how for one of the intros they stuck all the logos on roosters, and how the logos like deformed with the rooster and how it tracked it using a program inside of After Effects called Mocha. And so when Dean Boyd was like, "Can you make me Superman?" one of the shots, because we're a small town, whatever, was like, put our Superman logo on the back of this cape that is just a blank cape. And I'm like, that is way harder than you think it is, man. But using that tutorial that I had seen a few months earlier, I like ran back and looked it up. That helped me so much. And now it's in, you know, my reel that helped me get the job I have today. So like, always just be watching stuff and don't be afraid to play around in the programs. I think that's probably a good set of advice. I don't know.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
When are we going to get reverse Corey YouTube tutorials and stuff?
Yeah, when are you going to do like that? What's the name of that website that does tutorials? Like your masterclass?
Oh yeah,
is that Emma or something? There's
School of Motion that does really good stuff too. They have like classes. That's pretty dope. To answer the question though, I have a much not funnier. I have a much crazier answer to that there is a Reverse Corey YouTube channel that was filled up until like a month ago or so, was filled with every video I had ever made for the last 9 years, and they were I started making videos when I was 14. I, like many people, saw Rooster Teeth and Let's Play and stuff, and was like, I want to do that. That'd be cool. And so I started in 2012 making videos, and I think we had like 415 subs at the height of everything.
You said you started when you were 14 and you started in 2012?
Okay, well, that math doesn't add up. Maybe I was 15. I was born in 96. You just wanted me to help on your math homework?
No,
I can't do it.
Not much math today, you know.
Why is
I
everybody
know.
so young?
So what would that make me? 4?
no, I just wanted to, like, because you're so young, you're so close to my age. It's so weird.
Yeah, I guess I was 15 going on 16 in 2012. And so I started making videos. Borderlands 2 was my first Let's Play, and there was absolutely no cuts in it at all. And so anyway, over the course of like 6 years, I had hundreds of Let's Play videos and, you know, top 10s and all kinds of just random stuff. And so I was like, I think it's time for me to cull a lot of these. And so like a couple weeks ago, I went through, they're just privated, so they're not gone, but I privated everything but the ones that could maybe hold up. I refuse to go back and watch them, so I don't know if they actually hold up. But like top 10 games of this generation, talking about the PS4 or whatever. And this is like 16-year-old Corey, so do not take his opinions with any sort of weight. But yeah, I got rid of most of them. But yeah, there was a reverse Corey. It was actually called the Swarm when we were doing it all. But then
That's a great name.
man, we got hold real fast. I will talk amongst yourselves, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Check them out.
Ben, what we're gonna need, I need you to do a Photoshop. It's of Anakin and the younglings, but instead of Anakin, it's like Corey's face, and then all the younglings just need to be like YouTube thumbnails.
Yeah,
The coloring
t-shirts.
like YouTube channel.
That's a lot of work too.
Bloody
Dang.
hell.
Yeah, t-shirts?
Gosh.
That's awesome, dude.
We had t-shirts because there was a local convention. Get that out of here. Where's my focus? There's a local convention, right? And I was like, well, I want a booth at a convention. And so I got a booth. This was like 2015, I guess it would be. I had already graduated, so it was definitely 2015. But we got a booth, and I was like, well, you gotta have t-shirts. And so I didn't make them. I ordered a bunch of different t-shirts, and we sold one of them. And
Well, at least you can say to like people like, oh, how'd the stall go? Well, you know, it was swarmed.
Jesus. Beautiful. The real popular thing about that booth, and I will hold this till the day that I die, was that I had a You Beat Us competition. I was inspired by one Bungie who used to, in the Halo games, do the You Stake Us, We Stake You, where they would send you a package of stakes if you beat them in a game of Halo. And so I was like, I like that idea. And so every day of the convention, it was a 2-day convention, I would set up a little banner, and there was like times where I was like, hey, you can play me in Halo, and you can play my friend Ryan in Smash. He was really good at Smash. And if you beat us, we'll give you one of these prizes. And it was like, I went way, like, stupid me. I was like, here's a $50 Xbox card, $50 PlayStation card, $50 Steam card. Instead of like spreading the wealth out, like, so we were out of prizes very fast. We were not very good, but there was like a super long line to get to us. And so it was really funny because it was like 18-year-old Corey who knew nothing and was just like, you guys all are in line, and we ran out of prizes like 30 minutes ago. So I'll face you, but there's not much left.
All right. Anybody else got a question? Or I got questions.
I got community.
Who's
questions.
got Lexi's question? Because like Lexi's question, there's a few things I'd probably want to pick up based on her question, really.
Not me.
Do you wanna go with that, Kamal? I was gonna do it.
Well, yeah, Lexi was just asking you, Corey, how goes the workouts? And like maybe when you answer that, maybe just talk about, you know, I think it was like back in of 2019, you started this sort of like thing to lose weight, and it's gone amazingly successfully. I know you've inspired so many people. So can you like talk us about your like inspiration behind that, and how you managed to keep it up? Were there times where your motivation took a hit, and what helped you to push through those moments? Because it's one of those things for me where I'm super motivated some days, and other days I just don't feel the motivation to do anything.
Yeah.
On top of that, how are your hands doing?
They're a little bit more bruised today. And then my cat also decided to add to it.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck
I saw your
your
tweet.
knuckles, man.
I saw your tweet that you got a pull-up bar.
Yes. Okay. So I've got a bunch of stories about that. So the initial story about the workout stuff. I've been heavy like my whole life. It was just like a whole thing that it was just like I always ate really poorly, and then you move out on your own and you're like, oh cool, I'm gonna buy as many 12 packs of Dr. Pepper as I want. And so you just make up your own thing and you have Hamburger Helper 3 days in a row and it's okay. And so I was working at the news station right down the street from a Whataburger, and I had so much Whataburger and just all these really bad habits. And so I got the job at the game studio, and the game studio is exactly like what you think in your head when you think of what do they have at the game studio? Do they have a refrigerator with as many Cokes as you want? Yes. Do they have a cereal bar? Yes. Do they have a snack bar? Yes. And so it's just like Corey, 22-year-old Corey, was not ready for such responsibilities to be handed to him. And so I was having 3 Cokes at work, and then I would come home and have another Coke or whatever. And so it was just really bad. And I had always wanted to do Fit for RTX. I've been to every RTX since 2013 or whatever. And so I had always wanted to do the Fit for RTX stuff, but I just never had. And so I was like, well, I'll make it this year. My heaviest I was ever at was 287, so very close to 300 pounds. And I was like, well, I got to do something. And so I started this Fit for RTX, and it was just like little baby stuff, but the encouraging stuff to where you're like, I could do that, where it's like, do 3 push-ups today and do, just, I can't even think, but it's not a whole lot. But it was good introductory stuff, and it lasted for all the months leading up to RTX. And from that, like, I guess it had to have been like mid-April, early May to the July 4th weekend for RTX, I had lost 27 pounds. And I was like, cool, this is awesome. Not really expecting it to go too much farther, but a common theme with me personally, it's probably not a great thing, but a common theme is that I, for myself, always have a moving goalpost of like, cool, I got 25 pounds down, let's shoot for 35 or whatever. And then that just continued. And so by the end of 2020, I think I was at like 70 something pounds down. And it had evolved from the Fit for RTX stuff to I'll just walk around. Well, we were still working then, so it was I'll walk up and down the stairs a few times at work. There was also a really funny period of my diet that I refer to as the dark ages, where I really wanted to embrace lettuce wraps, and so my lunch was like a lettuce wrap with a couple of pieces of turkey, and it was just not a great time. And I have no clue what I would have been eating for dinner back then, but it just kind of evolved, and slowly but surely little things like I cut out the Cokes, I started going up and down the stairs at work, and I started doing this or whatever. And then I got Ring Fit in the holidays, and that really helped. And then working from home happened. And by about February, I think, is when I hit the 100-pound mark. And that was like, okay, like, I don't know if I'm technically healthy anymore. Like, now I'm underweight. And so, which is like such a weird dynamic to go from. And so it was interesting to do that. And so it just kept like evolving. And so now I walk/run, or really walk/jog a couple of miles if I can. Days like today where it's raining, I just try to do Ring Fit. And then I also have like a little routine of like like Russian twists and standing twists, and really I try to focus on like the ab area because I don't really care too much to do any of the stuff, and so I kind of hone in on trying to just like tone it, but also try to reclaim some of the weight that I have lost. As far as motivation goes, it's a real double-edged sword, because when you're in the moment, it's really easy for me to say now, like, oh yeah, you can totally do it and just keep losing weight. But there were definitely days where it's like I had gained like a few pounds back and I was just like pissy all day because of that. And it was just like one of those things where in my head, I know that it's like, I shouldn't be like this. Like I should be happy about where I am, and this plateau or whatever will just last a little bit. But there were definitely some motivation hits there. But I'm also, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm also really stubborn with myself, if that makes sense, where if I've started the thing, I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to keep doing it. And so there wasn't really ever an option to stop doing it, but it was how angry am I going to be when I'm doing it? Yeah. And not like angry, but angry enough, I guess. And so then once I hit the 100-pound mark, it was like, okay, well, now what do I do? Because I can't keep losing weight. And so that's kind of been a constant thing. Like a great example is I drink 2 V8 energy drinks every day. And I was like, well, this is probably a lot of caffeine. I probably don't need this much caffeine. And so I took one of them away and cut all my snacks out after dinner, because that's been a real big problem for me lately. And then all of a sudden I lost weight to where I was 174, so 104 pounds down. And I was like, well, this is A, new record, but B, I don't need to be here. So where's the issue happening? And so, yeah, it is totally a constant struggle, trying to figure out everything and just adding things in. And one of the things I've always wanted to try, because again, I was always a fat kid, for lack of a better word. I was never able to do pull-ups, and so I was like, I bet I can do pull-ups now. And so I bought a pull-up bar. Can't do pull-ups yet, so I'm like trying that now, and yeah, it turns out like you need gloves and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, shout out to Gifted Dim for the advice on that.
Yeah, I gotta go to Amazon sometime tonight and look up gloves. But yeah, so it's been interesting. I've walked something like 500 and some odd miles around this apartment complex since working from home began. And Ring Fit, I'm at 47 hours and 160 miles jogged or whatever in that. So yeah, it's a lot of.
What level are you, Corey?
Do what?
What level are you in Ring Fit?
So I restarted the game because once you beat it, you can keep going, but then it gets like too hard. Like I was like not into it once you got into the post game, and so I restarted, and you can keep all of your stats, which is what I cared about, but your level resets and you go down to the bottom. So I'm at 121 again, but I'm on roll number 2. This is my Dragon's Dogma. I'm eventually going to get to that 20th roll on it.
That's surprisingly good, actually. Awesome. I've started it back up again. I got I'm probably like maybe 20, 50 hours through, but yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's such a lifesaver. And I tweeted about it, but I pre-ordered that Game Maker one, because that's like,
oh yeah, that looks cool.
all these like node-based things, and I'm just like, I've always wanted to be more helpful on the Unreal Engine side at work, because that's something that being a video editor, especially in the games world, you want to stack up as many things as you can to be like, yes, I can do that, and I can do that, and I can do that. And one of that is through cinematics, and a lot of UE's backend is all node-based stuff, which is totally out of my realm of knowledge. And so I've given it a go a couple times, and it just kicks my ass every time. So we'll see if Nintendo can help me lose weight and teach me about nodes at the same time.
Gage does a lot of our stuff via Unreal Engine, don't you?
Yeah, all of our, well, so all of our backgrounds. We only have 2 backgrounds we use right now. I made a couple other ones, but yeah, pretty much all of the 3D animation stuff that I do is all Unreal Engine.
That is super impressive. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Might
that's what we all do.
collab between you two, hopefully, in the future. That'd be nice. I was going to ask you, like, where do you think Flash is right now with his Ring Fit adventure? Can you do the maths on that about how many miles he's
my gosh.
Okay, for real though, Camille, I totally thought you were referencing Adobe Flash. I'm like, why is he talking about Adobe Flash right now?
Hey, rest in peace, rest in peace.
Oh man, I know, it's so sad.
They did it dirty, dude. So, Corey, what's your sort of go-to sort of reward snack? What is the one snack that you go to? You think, you know, I've been good, I'm gonna have this snack. What's your go-to?
This is such a
Don't say celery, please.
no. This is such a non-answer because I don't have one.
He's too powerful. He's way too powerful.
I have DiGiorno once a week. Oh my god, I have a DiGiorno story for y'all. Okay. So HEB, right? HEB is the best when it comes to
100%.
spitting out coupons for stuff. They're just the best in general, but coupons, I've become a couponer, okay? And I'm not proud of the fact, but I've done it. And so now I live and die by coupons.
It's like HEB doesn't make money because the whole store is covered in coupons.
It's crazy. Have y'all ever been? Do y'all know what Albertsons is? Let's take a moment.
Oh my
here.
god, that was like my childhood. That was an adventure every single time. It's like, we're gonna go down that aisle because that's where the cereal is. We got to go down that aisle. That's where the coffee is because that's where my parents want to go. But back there, it's, I think, got like the video rental place and this little back closet. Dude, it's like a back closet where it's like you go in there, you can rent a Super Nintendo game for a night. Oh god, it was
Covered
amazing.
in beads. You got to go through it. You're like, hey man, what's back here?
Dude, Albertsons was the shit.
So there was these things in Albertsons that were like, they're like futuristic tech that nobody has yet. And this was back when I was a child. And you'd like pull out the coupon and it's like those automatic paper towel dispensers.
Oh my god, yes.
You pull out the coupon and it goes,
dude, I would pull those out all the time. My mom was like, you're never going to use those. Stop. I'm like, it's fun.
Yes. We had the same childhood. It's amazing. So I'm getting such that like dopamine hit, if you could call it that, from pulling these HEB coupons. I live a very boring life. Let's just like stop it right there.
Those coupon machines though at HEB, which is really funny.
So, and it's like, it's full circle, right? That I'm a child pulling these things. And so they have a DiGiorno one that I bought a DiGiorno and it spit out one at the cashier that was like, buy 2 DiGiornos and get $1 off. And I was like, challenge accepted. So I got 2 DiGiornos. Wouldn't you be surprised? It spit out a coupon to buy 3 DiGiornos and get $1.50 off. And I was like, you're goddamn right. I'm having 1 DiGiorno a week. It's like, it adds up, Caesar, right?
Yeah.
So
That's a clip out for this episode. Tag DiGiorno's.
I bought 3 DiGiornos and it spit out a coupon to buy 4 DiGiornos. And I was like, all right, HEB, now you're just getting crazy. But I have to stress that at this point, I'm just doing it for the love of the game because the savings is going down. It's like now it's like buy 4 DiGiornos for $1.75. It's not even worth using the coupon at this point. But I probably look like the worst man in history, like just like throwing down the pizzas. So I bought 4 DiGiornos. And my God, it spit out a 5 DiGiorno coupon. And this is where I'm like, I'm seeing this to the end, okay? Who knows how deep this rabbit hole goes? And I'm also like, who at DiGiorno is deciding this? Like, is this a DiGiorno decision or an
I feel like
HEB
this
decision?
would be the Twitter account. This is like, he's watching you.
Yes.
Whoever they're watching you and they're like
Actively trying to sabotage him, aren't
Yeah,
they?
let's just see. So I did redeem the 5 DiGiorno coupon. And 5 is where it caps out. It spit out another coupon and was like, 5, save $2 on 5, or save $3 on 5. And I'm like, fuck you, DiGiorno, we're done with this game. And so my boss, because of course I told my boss about this, my boss was like, well, you should just buy 1 and see if the process starts over. because that one was the best deal. You were saving 50 cents a pop. And I was like, that you're a genius, Brad. And so when these 5 DiGiorno's are depleted, I'm going to start the process over. And I cannot remember where we started with DiGiorno. Oh, the snack, the treats. So I have a DiGiorno every week. And then I just am like, I don't have self-control if it's in the house, which is absolutely horrible to say. And so I have these Nature Valley granola bars.
Oh, yeah.
Gone in 2 days.
They are gone so fast.
Yep.
And I feel so bad about it because I'm like, I had 4 like of these dried whatever granola
These
bars
cinder
today.
blocks, yeah, they're delicious.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
they're so good with a cup of tea, Gage. I can't
so
stress that
good.
enough.
They are.
Yeah.
I
And
love those
so
things.
yeah, that's my secret. I'm always treating myself.
I'm always hungry.
Can we have another Photoshop of him being the Hulk?
That's my secret.
I'll see what I can do, buddy.
I'm always snacking.
My aunt is a dietitian. And she called my mom and she was like, he is not eating enough. And I'm like, tell Maria to stay out of my business. I don't need it.
Maria, if you're watching this, stay out of this business, okay?
Maria, if you want to come on
Happy that
our
you're
league.
losing weight.
Yeah, right. Thank you. She told me, okay. I hope she doesn't watch this now because I'm just burning bridges. She told me, like, straight face, like, you need to stop losing weight so fast. Your organs are not catching up. And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean, Maria? Apparently, if you lose weight too fast, your organs just don't go back in place. And I didn't know that this was
Your heart is just where your kidneys are supposed to be. Like,
You're doing the plunge and you're just like this, and they're like, what's
Why do I feel my heart in my neck? What's going on? Like, what?
checking?
he's gonna be like a very difficult boss to come up against in like Fallout 3. You know,
Why is
with
my
the bat
stomach in my
system.
left hand?
Oh my God, he's really wearing his heart on his sleeve this time.
Oh,
God.
That's for you.
That's a good joke.
excellent.
joke.
Yeah.
See, Camille,
I don't
that's
think
a great
anything's-
joke.
Yeah.
Camille, take notes.
You know, I'm not arguing. I concede.
You can learn a thing or two.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, Corey,
If
I'd
it's
love to hear
Corey.
about your day-to-day work, buddy. Obviously, as an editor, and how that sort of fits into the gaming space. So, what does that look like for you? Any sort of given day? What does that sort of look like?
Yeah, so it's super cool because I'll use the public example. We've already confirmed, and they've already confirmed that we're helping 343 bring Halo Infinite over the finish line. And up until recently, I have not gotten to play in there. And I can't obviously go anywhere in detail, but it's just like
Is Master Chief in it?
the easiest way to to kind of describe what I do is, and I had no clue about this coming into this, which was the game industry is built on milestones. And like, I've heard the term before, but I never knew what it was or anything. And so you have your publishers and you have your developers, and the publishers are obviously paying for the game and the developers are making the game. But I've never thought about it where how is the publisher knowing that the developer is actually doing what they say they're doing? And so the contracts and everything are built out in milestones. So it depends per company on what a milestone is. Sometimes they're broken up into sprints. Sometimes they're just like, it totally varies in my experience. But the milestones are like the main thing that I'm working on. Some companies to their publishers just ship them the new build and with the document saying like, okay, this is the new stuff that's in. And so for us over at CA, we like to do milestone videos, and they can range from 5 minutes if it was a really small milestone, or it's more of a back-end milestone, or they've been up to like 23, 24 minutes. And we get together with the QA team. They are such lifesavers, and we film everything together, and they ship the footage to us, and we cut it all together with VOs and tracks and everything. And so that way, the higher ups over at the publishers don't have to boot into the game, and they don't have to, worry about which change list they're on and whether the features are in or whatever. And it also does a really good job of conveying, like, hey, this is what it's not in the game yet, but this is what we're planning to do. And so they can just do mock-up things, and we can animate or whatever, or we can highlight things in the UI or just in gameplay or whatever. And so Halo Infinite, the reason I bring that up is they finally brought us on to start working on Milestone videos for that. And so that's always been really cool because I've been a lifelong Halo fan. And so playing around in that world has been amazing. And I don't actually get to play around in it, but I get to watch people play around in it and like cut videos of people doing that.
So cool.
So that's like the main thing. Yeah,
That is so awesome. What is the most recent milestone that you've put together?
I don't know if I can answer that.
What's the most?
Nathan Drake's
I
in the
almost
game.
got it.
What's the most? I am generally curious. What's the most recent one that you were able to talk about? I'm assuming probably from a game that came out, a year ago or 2 years ago, whatever.
We are making, I can say like we're shipping ones to Halo, like we're shipping, we're playing back and forth
That's cool.
with 343 and everything, and so yeah, those are the most recent ones that I've gotten to play around with. It's this one has nothing to do with Halo, but it probably my like career highlight, I would say, was us editing a totally different video, but like it was one of the rare times that I actually had to stay after work. Certain Affinity, if I just brag on us for a second, it's really them. They are like straight against like crunch. They're like, hey man, like if anything that we can do to put a halt to that, we're going to. And then there's a whole lot of things in process, especially with working from home, because work is now always with you. They've been really strict about like, don't do things outside of hours. If you are, like, make sure that you're 100% with your team manager and get all that stuff going. But one of the very few times that I had to stay over, they mentioned after we got stuff done, they were like, oh yeah, like I think we forgot to mention it, but I was gonna watch this. And it was like, I was like, okay, cool. I'll stay however long you guys need me to. And that wasn't, the plan, because we had already finished the video at that point. But that's definitely one of the cooler things is, like I said, the whole reason behind a lot of these videos is so people on the higher end that either don't have the time, which is what I assume, or whatever, or they just want to check in with what the teams are doing. Like, so being able to have that is like really cool. And so that's like the main thing that I do is these milestone videos and just sending stuff to publishers. There's also a lot of stuff on the back end. Like we just uploaded a banner video for the website, the careers page. So now if you go to certainaffinity.com/careers, there's a banner on the top that plays a video, and so it's a little bit nicer. We also edited footage for the Canadian Game Awards. We just won the Canadian Game Award for Studio of the Year, which was very cool. We didn't put out a game last year, but we're not gonna complain about it. It was very cool to see that.
Aren't the Game Awards just technically the Canadian Game Awards? Jeff Keighley's Canadian,
I
so
thought very similar things to this because they have a cool. I kind of wonder if they've talked to Keighley at all. Like this is just me on a rant now, but like I wonder if because they had like a really cool presentation and they had a really nice like dynamic logo comp and everything, and I was like, this is dope. And yeah, it's just like it's the Game Awards, but it's the Canadian Game Awards.
I love how on the website for Certain Affinity the careers video is playing, right? But on top of that, there's a bright yellow banner that says, "We've been awarded Studio of the Year by the Canadian Game Awards."
We are very proud of it.
that's awesome. Love that.
So yeah, it's really cool because most of the time, if you see something front forward or face front, I don't know what I'm trying to say, facing like the public, then me or my boss had a hand in it. Like the one of the cooler things is the Ask the Devs series that we did or are doing, I guess, where we were just working on this footage, and it was right after Bon Appetit, sadly, rest in peace, passed away. And I was like, man, Bon Appetit had such a cool style to him. Like, I wonder if I could kind of rip that off and just see, you know, what's going on, because we didn't have anything tying these interviews together other than just like, oh, these are all devs at CA answering questions. And so I like thought on it, and I hit up my boss, and I was like, hey, I have an idea for what we can call this show. And I whipped something up, and he was like, oh, I love it. And immediately shot it to Mojde, who is one of our co-presidents and is awesome. And she immediately greenlit it. And so it was very cool to see how I could immediately affect the company's brand and stuff. And that's been one of my favorite things of just being at a company that if I want to try something, they're more than happy to let me try something. I mean, no, other than Ask the Devs, there's a lot of little things that I've done that nobody will ever see, but they are very cool, and that are all just me being like, hey, if y'all just give me like an afternoon to play around in After Effects, like I think I can do something pretty cool. And they like are always down to do it. So yeah, sometimes it's just me editing a, you know, internal donut eating competition that I edited to look like WrestleMania. I called it Donut Mania. I had video packages. We were very extra about it. That's and awesome. It was amazing. And sometimes it's just me watching YouTube tutorials and, you know, upkeeping my raid while we're waiting on somebody's work or whatever.
That's fantastic. Awesome. I love that.
There was a little while ago, there was that leaked footage of the new Harry Potter game. That kind of, I was just wondering if now that you're talking about that, I'm like, was that a Milestone video? Like it looked a little bit longer than a normal trailer. It was a little bit kind of.
It could have been
very early.
It could have been an internal trailer. We've made a few of those to send to publishers of like, oh, like this is what a potential thing. That's another thing that I've learned that I had no clue about, that most of the time a trailer is not made by the studio. It's made by, they'll like hire somebody out, or if it is made by the studio, it's a very rare thing. Like Naughty Dog, I've learned, did not do any of their release trailers for Last of Us Part 2, but all of their post trailers for Last of Us Part 2 has been handled by them in-house. But a lot of the times, like Bungie is a good example with Destiny, where they have such good trailers that line up with the beat so well. And I learned that there are entire companies that their whole job is they will get with a studio, storyboard out a trailer, the game company gets them like the game engine or whatever, and that company just has a theater, and they just all day are like working on shots to get these trailers together. And so we've done a couple of things like that where it's like, oh, this is what like a trailer could look like or whatever. Or if it's just, you know, a fun morale boost, we've done stuff like that as well. So yeah, like that Harry Potter thing could have been a couple of things. A Milestone video is a good call out because I can't remember exactly what it looked like, but I have also learned that different companies' Milestone videos vary wildly, because me and my boss are, again, very extra in what we do. We like to match like the world and the game and everything and make it all look like it's like in the world. Some studios I've seen Milestone videos where it's literally, if you think of the iMovie, like the black banner sliding out, I'm gonna do this in frame, sliding out from the side, and then it's like, oh, and then title. Like that's like what it is. And like, you know, you can hear their dog barking in the background or whatever. And it's like just not the best. But it's been really cool, because like I just talked yesterday with somebody who didn't know that I did stuff around Kind of Funny until we were talking about it, and he was like, oh, back when we went to the office, like I listened to them every day, and he's like a higher up in the company, and I was like, oh, that's super awesome. And so it's a very cool company to work at. They've got a lot of stuff going on that is always super exciting.
That's
Corey's
fantastic.
working on the Harry Potter game. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
And
Confirmed.
You heard it here.
poor WB games getting like split
Certain
up.
Affinity is working on Halo Infinite and
Yeah.
Wizard Unite or whatever that game is.
Legacy.
Yeah.
The
Legacy.
plot twist is he's not
Hogwarts
working
Legacy.
on any of the editing. He's actually a voice actor.
Yeah.
He's actually making the entire game by himself. Little known fact.
There was a time, so we're right with audio video. That's why that's fun fact. That's why my title is AV media designer. I don't really mess with A that much, but we are under the A category in the studio. So I'm the AV media designer. And for a game, the audio director was like, hey, we need some extra voices just to fill out some temp roles. Like, are y'all good to do that? And I was like, yeah, totally. I've been in front of a microphone my whole life, pretty much, for the majority of my life. I used to do college radio. Like, I'm pretty happy with my voice and where I'm at and everything with that. I was like, let's do it. And I've never felt so bad at that before, where like, the guy in front of me was a QA guy. His name's Robert. He's absolutely awesome. He has two brothers that are twins that do a Twitch channel, and they're called the Bonsai Bros. And you should check them out because they are awesome. And
Great name.
yeah, it's fantastic. I've checked out their stream a couple times. I'm like, you guys know what you're doing. And they're like again, I'm getting off tangent. Put a pin in the VO thing. My experience of Twitch is like kind of funny, and then like what's good games, and like I don't know, a bunch of stuff like that. But you go to these guys and it's like, oh, this is what Twitch is. I'm just on a whole other side of Twitch from this, because they've got like neon stuff going in the background, and they're like their computer set up in the background.
They're talking to the chat. They're reading donations. They're doing all this stuff.
Yeah, dude.
They've actually got a fucking bonsai tree in the background as well. This is amazing. I'm just looking at that video right now. This is
so
great.
good. And so yeah, like we had them over for some cool stuff, and that's the first time I ever met them, and I was like, oh yeah, these guys are awesome. And yeah, the VO thing, Robert was like so good at this, and I was like, oh, I'm ready to do this. And they're like, all right, just do like a death thing. And I'm just like, okay. And so it was so demoralizing, where I was like, I'm not good at VO acting, I guess. I don't know. Who knew?
Man, I wish
It's a
Phil
fair
was here
thing.
for
The more
that.
you practice it, probably the better you're gonna get. I guess like you just going to a studio for the first time and being like, oh yeah, I'll do something for the first time, and like, oh, hang on a minute, this is a lot harder than I thought.
Oh yeah,
it'd be.
because there's a difference
gonna
between
happen.
there's a difference between being yourself on a microphone and acting on a microphone. There's a big difference. So that's
And
probably
I've had the privilege of like cutting together like VO auditions for like, oh, this is our cast of this game or whatever, and like, you know, I get to choose, or me and the audio director gets to choose the best take, you know, and cut it all together for a team meeting. And it's like, oh, that's really cool. And, you know, there is in the CA, one of the culture reels or something, it shows Dave, my boss, his office, and it is like intimidating to be in. He's got like a huge keyboard and like a huge TV and 3 monitors, and it's like he's got the setup, and it is very intimidating when you walk in and you're just like, I don't know what any of this does, but okay.
Walk in, he's just watching a movie. He's just chilling. Like, yeah.
Man,
what's up?
okay, so there's these things in the games world. Another thing I didn't know about called rippos. Stands Rip-O-Matic, where they just rip Blu-rays and will cut together Blu-rays with movies as like a pitch tone piece when they're pitching to publishers. And I've seen some rippos on his like machine that are just like, he's like cranked up the audio because he's got, you know, all this soundproofing in there, and it's just like, it's insane. It's crazy. The TV's magical, and the sound system's magical.
That sounds like the dream job right there. I just quit Simply Sassy. I'll just go do that shit.
all right. I
Such
got a
loyalty,
question.
Gage. You know, such loyalty.
I know. He's ready to
I'm
ditch you guys in a heartbeat.
gonna skip over that
Who are
treason.
you again?
This is just like his summer break project, Ben. We're just disposable.
A question from Erica. She says, "Hi Corey. My question is, if you could pick Wait, if you could pick a comic book character to hang out with for a day, who would it be?
Ooh.
Flash.
Well, I won't say Flash because that's a cop out. Okay, I'm not gonna do that to y'all. I've got to.
Wait, was that an actual like serious?
He says while wearing a Batman hat.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
That's fair. Tim Drake's Robin is a solid second. I feel like Red Robin, great character. So
Great restaurant.
great restaurant. Okay, bottomless French fries. Okay. I want to hang out with Tim Drake, the Red Robin, at Red Robin. See how many bottomless fries he can take on. That's my answer.
Now that's a show
Done.
right there.
There you go, Eric.
I didn't know there were Red Robins in Texas.
Yeah, yeah.
Austin?
Well, I have one pretty much across the street from me right
Fair
now.
enough.
I could walk there. It would suck, but I could walk there. There's like a highway, but I would do that for this question specifically.
God.
Is the highway still closed? Are they still doing construction on it?
No, they're like, at least my little intersection, they are converting it to like, it's like a super fancy. It's gonna be a super fancy one, but it's not yet. Look, okay, this is blasphemy.
Every time we go to Austin, it's under construction. Like the highway's under construction.
So further down, closer to like downtown, yeah, that thing is like always under construction. This is blasphemy to say, like legit blasphemy, not like capital B blasphemy, but like in between lowercase and capital B blasphemy.
Intermediate.
Working from home hit me at like the exact right time, which there's a lot of baggage that comes with working from home, but like it hit me at the exact right time because they were like, all right, we're tearing up your entire living like and then COVID hit and I was like, I didn't have to see a lick of orange in that street and everything was done. And I was like, this is amazing. Beautiful. But everything else about the pandemic sucks.
Perfect timing.
Like, let's chill out about that one.
Oh, exactly.
Selfishly, things just happen to work out.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing this right now if it weren't for the pandemic. So that's one of the few good things that have happened. Is this show that is so structured and precise every single time.
Do you know what? At least we have a good time with it, and that's the main thing, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm having a great time. I'm just looking at that Days Gone thing in the back, and I'm just like, such a great time.
Speaking of having a great time,
Spider-Man
before we
one
started,
right there.
Oh, see, that's like an actual good one.
From my time,
Speaking
at
of
Since the Days Gone.
from my time at Best Buy, it's the displays we had put up. I always claim those. They're so much fun. And then
Yeah.
they're too big though. Jesus.
speaking of having a great time, before we started, you said you had a story for us.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, we're gonna get into that, huh? Oh, shit.
So, I'm trying to think of how to preface this, right?
Yeah.
That I don't know. Okay, so not this neighbor. Like I'm right up against the wall. Not this neighbor. If you're listening, neighbor, you're in the.
They have a cub. They're up against the wall.
Yeah, they're like, what's this?
It's got
guy
like a
talking
shotgun
about?
just waiting for you to talk shit. Like, all right, let's hear what you're gonna say.
But this wall right here that you can see behind us in the bedroom shares a wall with that person's bedroom. And that's not normally an issue. It's never been an issue. And I think it's the same neighbor that's been here for like a year or more. But all of a sudden, in like the early mornings of like 6 a.m., I am awoken with all kinds of noises that will not be repeated on this podcast. But like, I'm like, y'all, it's a fucking Wednesday morning at 6:30. Like, can you not? And
Good
it's
for
just
them,
like,
eh?
Yeah, at least you know the marriage is intact.
On the one hand, good for them, but on the other, let me sleep.
exactly.
The twist
Let
is
me-
it's only one person.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh, they're just doing both voices. I will say, without getting
Talking
into
of voice
Or-
acting.
or are they just watching a movie very loudly?
well, I've thought about it, but
So the
you know,
Troy
Caesar, let
Bakers
me
of
tell
Texas,
you,
you know?
The
if
Troy
this is a
Bakers.
movie, there's like
Troy
some
Baker's the Troy
sequels.
Baker of Texas. He's from Texas.
Yeah.
Is that where he lives?
No,
think
he
he's
lives in
in LA,
California
but-
now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a
He's
Texan.
from Dallas. I
I
think.
think so. Every time he brings out that Texan accent, I'm like, Jesus. He's
So
too
wait,
good at
Corey.
everything.
Not only can you hear it, but you pay attention enough to know that each time it's different.
No. Each time is consistent.
Oh, you take notes.
Gets out the stopwatch. It's like, are they gonna beat 5 minutes today? Beat 5 minutes? Ah, so
Look,
close.
Gage, I'm going to tell you, these people have stamina, okay? They are training for some kind of marathon.
Not only do they wake you up at 6 a.m., they keep you awake.
Yeah. So let me clarify. Not paying attention per se, but I'm like trying to go back to sleep. And one time was a Sunday. It's kind of, whatever, I guess. But okay, the weirdest part about this, if we really dissect what's going on here, is no activity at night. And I'm like, well, I get it if it's like a nighttime morning activity. It's like a compliment sandwich with sleep being the compliment.
From what I've heard from studies, some people get energy after it, so some people do it in the morning.
Oh, so it's like a cup of coffee for them.
That's what I heard, and we have concerns.
could be on night
Apparently,
shift,
you get these chemicals get released that make you sleepy, like after you've done
That's
the deed.
what I've always thought. Yeah.
Sleepy.
I don't know. Studies are weird.
Kamel, did you just
Well,
pimp
let
out
me-
somebody
that's
else's
true.
podcast
Man.
on my show?
Hey, look, let's be honest, right? I'll be fucking ecstatic if we can get one of the two on this podcast. Like,
You want me to go knock on their door? Be like, hey,
No,
I've got
not
a podcast
them.
going on right here. Oh, man, I was ready to bring them on. I'll bring up a chair. Like,
oh yeah,
let's do this.
That'd be great.
we just try and help you. Like, look, we're like a Jeremy Kyle or something, right? Or the Maury. Is Maury like from the US?
It's
Is
like
that-
an intervention. Yeah, Maury's from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
US.
We'd be like a Maury. Like, look,
Does he sound British to you, Camille?
oh fuck off, C's. I want to make like a joke about
Camille
you.
H.
No, I can't. I just
Kamel
can't.
H.
Yeah, never mind.
It's getting better, Caesar. It's getting better. Still needs a little bit of work, but it's pretty.
Oh, my British accent.
You're getting
No, it's
it.
just never been good. Fuck off, Ben. all
Every
right?
day.
Guys,
for
I'm
like
Ben. I'm from Southern Australia. Check out my dick.
every day
Wanna
for
go there,
like
Ben? We'll go there.
10.
Camille.
Ben, every day for like 20 minutes, I'll just go, bottle of water. And I'll just do that over and over.
No one says that though. No one says that, though.
On a Tuesday, innit?
Oh, get out of here, you. See,
Put the kettle on.
yeah, okay.
There's no T's in the UK. That's what I've
No
learned.
T's. And if
They'll
there is a
find them,
T,
you
it's a CH. So
Or it's just like
Tuesday.
bottle. Like it's just like
Yeah.
it's like in the back of your throat.
If there is a T, it's in
Hey,
a little cup.
but we do have
in a little
C's,
cup, yeah.
you cunts. That's
And
what
you
I
also
end
have
up.
a Y in your H for some reason.
Wait, why?
You have a H.
What?
H. Kamel H.
H. Yeah, H.
Dude, even
Man,
Mike
can't
Biff.
spell
To be fair, though,
Just
Mike
shit
Biff
for
gave
that.
you
It was
shit
great.
for that.
Did
was
you have
that,
some
Ben?
community questions, McKenna?
Can I have a communication question? Why are you all just such terrible human beings? Apart from you, McKenna. McKenna, you're fine. Corey, you're fine. The rest of them are cunts. Just put it out
Wow, we pulled out the C word today.
there. I don't give a shit anymore.
Might need to edit
This
that.
podcast
I'm
is
never
not
going to be back on this show. I
This
know it now.
podcast is not going to be available in so many countries.
Podcast is brought to you by Nickelodeon.
We're still good because at least we didn't do that in the first 5 minutes. So we're still
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
as far
exactly,
as YouTube. So we can say whatever we want at this point.
We
Yeah.
need to bring back the bleeper. Eh?
Dude, please,
Oh,
man.
can you
That was
bring-
so
have you
good.
got the bleeper ready?
McKenna, do you have any audience
have it?
questions?
Please, somebody
still got one
ask a
after this, yeah.
question. I don't need
got
any more
one.
Kamel bull craps. Like, oh guys, I'm gonna go play some Pokemon tonight. You know, play some Monster Hunter. Let's go play some Monster Hunter
Monster
together.
Hunter.
Oh, let's look.
Squirrel.
What these guys
got
scored a goal?
Squirrel.
Oh, they scored a goal today. Oh look, we're gonna get into the word the fucking
I'd
whatever the
rather
soccer
play
league is.
Pokemon than
tea
just be like
crumpets,
an
beans
American.
and
Like,
toast.
I'm going to
that
go
a
fuck
Digimon?
my sister because that's what we do here in the US. So fuck you.
You can't take my
You wanna go
guns
to
from me, you
stereotypes.
you British son of
That
a
is-
bitch.
dude.
You goddamn British
If
son of a
somebody
We
has
won
a
the
good,
war,
like-
Camille. We won the war. You redcoats ain't shit. You ain't
I'm
shit.
just
Go
glad-
back
look,
to your damn country and
that
drink
is-
your fucking
You
tea.
won the war, but look how you turned out. Fuck you! I got free healthcare. Shoot me!
And
I
we
got free
got beer
healthcare.
and guns, you socialist
We have a
pig.
vaccine.
Hey, oh yeah, we have vaccines. What are you talking about, Caesar?
Europe is
true.
having a hard time with the vaccine.
No, yeah, Europe is. The UK isn't.
Yeah, I know. I
Don't
forgot you
forget,
guys
man,
left.
Fuck Brick.
I forgot you guys left.
Sorry, we've gone so left field. Community questions. McKenna, take over, please. The only adult that's here, McKenna.
Let's talk
20.
about
How? I'm barely an adult.
Yeah, can we save this chat for Warzone, please, guys? Can we,
Oh
Hi,
my
Corey.
God. It's a great show.
It's been like a month since I've been able to hang out with you.
Yeah, it's been a while since
coming
I've
out.
talked to Camille.
Downtown.
So it's just all racking up right now.
A lot of peeped up rage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Camille, you want me to send you a picture of Pokemon Bounty Castle?
Please don't.
Please don't.
So I've got a question. From Nick at Campfire Design, and he asks, "What is your favorite kind of funny GIF that you've ever made?"
Oh, should I throw mine on top of that one too, or I'll just ask after? Never mind.
I swear to God, I read this question and I was like, I'm gonna look at the Giphy and see what kind of GIFs are out there. I don't know the answer to that one. There's so many at this point, right? We're over like 700, okay, and I can't keep track anymore. There's so many, but I do like the Andy Cortez, Shawn Michaels one, just because I like Shawn Michaels and I called that one out. There's a lot of good Andy ones. There's a lot of good all of them ones, but I feel like I relate to Andy's ones the most just because of his call outs. The Greg ones are really good because they're crazy, and the Tim ones are really good because they're the hype, and the Nick ones are always good just because
Nick's an animated character.
I forever screwed up if you searched leather on one of those, because his leather cat one will pop up. I don't know how close it will pop up, but Giphy does tell you some analytics.
Let me see.
And
Look at this leather on Twitter.
On
GIFs.
Twitter, it's number 7. Here, Ben, I'm gonna send it to you.
Yep.
there's a lot of ones. Like
Number
when I
3 and
first
4 are
started-
very interesting.
Oh well, now I have to look at this.
Corey, while we're looking,
Oh
have
my
you found it a
God.
little bit more difficult since obviously they've been working out of the office? Have you found it quite hard to get the gift side of things done or get better quality gifts? Has that been a little bit more difficult or a different process?
Yeah, 100%. It's been an interesting. I feel like there was like a feeling out period, as was with most things in working from home. But there was like a feeling out period where I used to have all of this frame space to play around with, and there was a lot more dynamic moves in the older GIFs, because you could like punch into somebody's face and then you could come back, or you could travel, or you could, whatever. Like there was so much opportunity, and they played with this space really well too. This is a good answer to the first question. One of my favorite GIFs is it was initially a Pop-Tart GIF that doesn't come across at all, but where Greg is really close up to the camera, and they actually did this in cam. I get a lot of credit for it. I had nothing to do with it, but Greg's talking really close to the camera, and then it focuses on Nick in the background who's just waving. And like, that's a really good one. And so there was a lot of ways that they played with the space too. And so there was a lot more dynamic opportunities then. Now, like I experimented with going from viewpoint to viewpoint, traveling actually in the frame, but then you have this really weird, whatever the background is, you'll see that as the pan is happening. And so I was like, well, that doesn't work. And so there are some GIFs where I just cut between them. And so anymore, if I'm focusing on more than one person, they will either be in a split screen if they're doing like the same reaction at the same time, or maybe they're the same reaction but a little bit delayed, and I'll just cheat it and move it to make it look like they did it at the same time. Or I will just use cuts in between them. But yeah, I've kind of fallen into a groove where I'll just zoom in really close, and if it's a 16:9 GIF, I'll zoom in enough to move them to where they're like this in the frame, and then you have all of this area to play with text and stuff. And GIF House was really inspirational for the tracking of the movement of the text that they do. And so I like to do that. I like to match it. Like the most recent example, Andy's single GIF, where it's tracking with his head, and I got to play with fuck coming out of his mouth. And so like that's been really fun. But yeah, at the beginning, I got to play with the fuck coming out of his mouth. And so it's been a lot of experimentation, and some of them work and some of them definitely do not, but it's been fun to try to figure out, and I can't wait till they're back in the studio again, because that will open up a lot more opportunities again for me.
Do you have to like worry about compression at all when you make these GIFs? Because like when I make the occasional one, Twitter always fucks up with me, where I have to always like find ways to like make it a little bit less bigger than it was. You know, how do you deal with that?
Less bigger than it was.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't. My mind's not working properly. To be fair.
Yeah, it's a constant struggle. If it's a longer GIF, you have to. The way that I export them is different from the way that like Peter Hayes exports them. For example, I think. To this day, I think Peter Hayes uses just the export in After Effects, or maybe he uses Media Encoder. But we use a different dialogue. If you've ever seen, like you mentioned earlier, the Twitch streams that I did, I pumped them all into Photoshop, because Photoshop has it's because it's the first way that I learned how to do it, and I'm stubborn and I've just never experimented with the other ways. But Photoshop has a really good like save for web option in there, and from there you can choose what percentage of the frame, like it'll take the whole frame but it'll resize it accordingly. That normally helps, but sometimes it resizes, like if it's a 16:9 GIF but it's like a 720 by 720, a 1:1 GIF. Those are really hard to knock down, because even if you take it down to 75%, I think it's 75, you're now at 480 by 480, which is like, it'll look good at the first posting, but as soon as I kick it over to Giphy or Tinner, which used to be the home of all of the kind of funny GIFs, it's going to compress the hell out of it. But yeah, especially for the longer ones, I kind of have the process down now, but even nowadays, if something's longer, I just have to find ways around it pretty much, because it's a balancing act. Peter once in the chat was like, you have to choose between dithering and resizing and length. Like it's like that weird whatever you want to call it, that weird triangle thing where like only two of them can happen at any one time, pretty much.
Did you ever think that you were going to make 100 million GIF views?
No. It was very weird, because I don't know what I was expecting when we moved him to Giphy, but I didn't even know that the view part of Giphy was like a thing. I just knew that Peter hosted all of the RT GIFs on Giphy, and I was like, okay, Tinner kind of sucks on the GIF search, because I don't know what they do. I have no clue what they do, but the like compression when you search for it on Twitter, you'll notice this. I'm going to completely ruin any illusion of GIFs for y'all, for my GIFs. Other people find a way around it, and I have not figured this out yet. But for my GIFs specifically, you can really tell a difference between the Tinner GIFs and the Giphy GIFs, because the Tinner GIFs are really fuzzy and really gross and kind of low res, and I don't know what they did to them, but a lot of times if I upload the same GIF to Tinner and Giphy, you can tell who's using which one, because the Giphy one looks really good and the Tinner one looks kind of bad. And I think now the guys all use Giphy. We have a Google Drive in the back end that Greg set up for me right when they started on GIF like 5 or something. He was like, hey, just put them in here. And so it was a process that they used to search through there, but I think Giphy has helped them, and my categorization has helped them through that way. And so that was just something that I was like, I'm going to move these to Giphy. And so I started moving them over to Giphy, and it took so much longer than I thought it would. At the time we were at 500 GIFs, and I was like, it'll take like a weekend. And my God, it took like a month, because it was, Tenor has a really cool batch upload where you can individually tag them, and you can throw like 15 in a batch at a time and just upload them, you know. And so that's what I was basing my timeline on. Giphy, not so. You have to upload them individually and tag them individually. If you want to upload them in a batch, they all have the exact same tags, to my knowledge. I don't think there's a way around that. And so it took forever, and at that point, we had one GIF uploaded, and I hit up Joey, because I was just like, hey, before I do this, do you want me to make a kind of funny Giphy account, or would you guys rather me just make another reverse Corey account, because that's what my tenor is, and so it's like super clear that it's a community thing. And she was like, oh, well, I think that we already have a Giphy account. And she was nice enough to give me the login info. It was already verified. And so I just started on the sly uploading all of these over time. And yeah, we beat the 100 million mark under 6 months, I believe. And we are now at 140, almost 138. Wow. It's a real big problem. I check it almost every morning.
To be fair,
hey, I would be really checking the hell out of it if I got anywhere close to that number, honestly. So no, big congratulations to you, man.
Yeah,
great work.
I got a question from Hoodie. While we're talking about gifts, is there one popular gift you wish you? Fuck.
You're thinking about the one from earlier, weren't you?
Is there one popular gift? Is there one popular gift you've seen that you could wish to take credit for? Which one would it be?
The Greg Miller numbers GIF. God,
oh my God, so good.
It's so. Greg didn't even know that wasn't me until a couple of weeks ago. That all goes to Steffi, because that's the off topic.
That was not even like. That was broadcast. I did that live. They did that live,
they did
in the moment.
And Steffi just clipped it and put it up, not knowing that it would dominate the Achievement Hunter Giphy account.
Because I see people that have no idea who Kind of Funny or even Achievement Hunter use it.
I was just about to say that. That's like the coolest thing ever. People do that, and it's like, oh shit, that's Greg Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. That's apparently oh my God, I feel like such an asshole. Somebody told me that I was about to start singing the Killer song.
Yeah.
Somebody told me.
I sang that in my head.
Somebody told me that their college professor uses the Greg Miller "Thank You, Sir" GIF a lot, which is also kind of taken off for some reason. And that one, I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's awesome. That's super cool." And so it's always weird to see the people, because again, 138 million views, like there's a lot of us Kind of Funny best friends out there. I don't think that it's just us using these GIFs. I have no proof of that, but there has to be somebody out there using these GIFs that have no idea what they're using.
Absolutely.
Oh, is it the one with the Spider-Man suit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
It's a good one.
Yeah, there's like a top 10 that Giphy will give you, and Andy and Mika kind of cheated because they got put on the front page, but their like high five GIF is our most viewed one at like 22 million, and Greg's "Thank You, Sir" is up there. The funny one is "Blessing You Don't Want That Smoke" is way up there.
That's a good one.
That's
I really
so
love
good.
that GIF.
And the keyword that most people find "You Don't Want That Smoke" with, and I just make myself laugh in these. Nobody will ever see these keywords that I use, but if I can make myself laugh while I'm typing in the keywords, I know I've done good. And the keyword that gets this one is "these hands," as in you don't want to catch these hands. And so that's how
that.
I'm on Giphy right now, and I'm typing in "these hands."
Let's see if it pops up.
Let's
No
see.
promises. No
Hold
promises.
up. It's not one of the first. It's like the fifth one.
Yeah.
God, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
there it is. There it is. There's Blessing. You can't really see it because it's super
so
bright, but
good.
there it is.
Number 9 on Twitter.
It's
Ben,
amazing.
I'm going to send this one to you too.
Yay! Thanks, Meg.
I'm just gonna send you gifts now.
Oh, I've been trying to put them in the Discord.
That's incredible.
Been getting all mine.
Oh yeah. If you notice, I tried at the beginning to attribute kind of funny, and so that's where the hashtag KFMS is, and you can tell the really early GIFs because those have a hashtag in the corner.
All right, how many more community questions do we have?
Those are all of mine.
I have 2 more.
2 more?
McKenna has all of hers.
Awesome.
I had 3. I had 1. Mark Freeman at the Indie Boy 1 says, well, first, thank you so much for making him into a KF GIF. And then his question, what is the one GIF you've made that you thought you would see all the time but hasn't really been used that much?
So I was thinking about this one, and I don't have an exact answer, but I did think of something on a walk yesterday of that there is like a rule, I feel like, where if I put in more than like 30, 40 minutes, the GIF's never going to get used. I don't understand it. I don't understand the properties. It's like that anything that can go wrong will, but it's like anything that you put too much effort in, people are just not going to use.
No, I definitely get that.
It's almost always like the super fast ones that are just the ones that take off, or the really dumb ones that just make me laugh, like Andy throwing his sunglasses with the flame exploding. Like that was just like, I thought that was funny, and people also thought it was funny, so that helped. But yeah, like, especially y'all are so good with the Photoshops, I would imagine that there are some that you put a lot of time and care and effort into, and you're like, people are going to love this, and then it just doesn't pan out.
It does nothing.
It's like, I can't explain it. I don't understand it, but that's my answer. Is there's a lot of them out there that I'll like put in so much effort and like track stuff or whatever, and then it's like, okay, I got a few likes. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, so yeah.
Nice.
What GIF do you think we're going to see from this episode today? You know, if you had to pick, is there a great GIF we could make from this episode?
Not a lot of crazy movements going on.
Gage's look of disappointment would be pretty good. And you just type in Giphy disappointment, and it's just got Gage's face.
You can find one of
entirely.
those from every episode I've ever been on.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
I want to see a GIF of Kumail's little box lighting up. That's
Oh, cool. I'm like that Halo, just lighting up when I'm talking.
Beyonce song.
What's that? The annoying Guilty Spark. That's it. I'm like Guilty Spark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Corey, I have something
Great
for you.
analogy.
Actually, hold up.
Thank you.
I have to use the
It wasn't worth
restroom,
it.
so I will be right back. I will leave you guys with
Oh, beautiful.
Papa Vin, BRB.
Oh,
What's
that's
good?
back.
Thank you.
What's good, home slice?
Caesar, where are you out of?
Brownsville.
That thing right there.
Oh, I have a really dumb story about Brownsville.
Of course you do. Everybody that lives in Texas has something about Brownsville or South Padre Island.
That
Everybody-
my mother tells me all the time as one of those like, you were so small.
Let me
Like,
hear you. Please
it's
regale me in your tale of Brownsville.
It's going to let you down, right? We were moving from, I'm going to throw out some names that Caesar may know. I bet nobody else does. I was moving from Pampa, Texas to Midland, Texas. Midland, Texas, one of the oil capitals or whatever. And we were moving there, and I was a child. I don't know any better. I was not the man I am today with this knowledge. And so my mother was like, oh, we're passing Brownsville. And I was like, it's not brown at all. That's the story. So now when you talk about Brownsville, but I think
Not that brown. Well, it is like 95% Mexican, so it's very brown when you look at it like that.
Corey didn't understand demographics. He didn't know.
Well, see, it's not even Brownsville because of like color or anything. It's named after a fort from like the Civil War.
That's lame.
It's like called Fort Brown.
Was it brown?
But-
Yeah, Fort Brown.
Was
Fort Brown, the yellow castle.
There were a lot of blue buildings, from what I can gather. No, I don't know. Maybe if the fort was built out of like trees or something, like it could be brown. Yeah, the Brownsville is named after Fort Brown, which is like a Civil War thing. How did we get
Do you
here?
think they called it a fort because many battles were fought? They were like, let's just
Fort,
call it-
not
yeah.
fought.
No, that's what I'm saying. Do you think it was named because of that?
You're British.
That's
like
you're, damn it, Caesar. And see, this is exactly why I have to explain like the GIF at the very beginning of the episode. It's because of Caesar right there. Moments like that.
Fort doesn't look
McKenna, I
brown.
believe you had another community question.
I do. I have one more still.
You got one more.
I got one more.
But speaking
Philip J. Woodward.
but going back to like what Mark Freeman said, my dream is to be immortalized by a GIF or something. I don't know, but I don't do much on patch notes that would like.
Hang on. You made him. He wanted to be on the wall. You made him subscribe to Twitch. Corey, what do you want Caesar to do to be made into a GIF?
Quick, Caesar, make some movement, do some crazy movements. Go.
He did something right now. I don't know.
It's got to be something amazing.
Backflip. Do a backflip.
Oh, do a flip.
I can do something stupid. Hold up. It's not really like exciting. It's just gonna be.
McKenna, how about the IT crowd just walking outside the window?
I don't know.
Oh, you know what?
That
There
was
there are terrible
I don't know
birthday
anything
gifts.
different.
Honestly, if we could do a great birthday gift,
Oh my god,
that would be
put
amazing.
it back
Because
on
whenever
and
you
just
type in
give
happy
us,
birthday, they're terrible.
give us the most awkward like smile ever while you're wearing that.
With the party
With
hat
the
on.
party
Get
hat on.
close to the camera. Get close to the Can we?
We're just gonna give Corey so much work to do. Like,
Caesar.
invite you on the show. It's like make gifts of all of us.
Get close to the camera. You need to get
love it.
closer.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, no, I'm putting that.
That's it. Now you're going internet famous. Okay, maybe cut that last bit out.
also
You
have-
know, other than that,
I also have a birthday
Spectacular.
banner if you want me to
Oh
use
my
it.
god.
I feel like this should have been brought up way earlier in this discussion.
Yeah, my birthday was in March and I haven't taken that down. It's May.
That's amazing.
It's 2 months after the fact.
I already know what I'd want
so
my
McKenna,
gift to
you've got a
be.
community question.
Still
Do
do.
it.
Philip J. Woodward at Phil J. Woodward.
Yeah,
He's
One.
not a community member. That's nepotism.
Sorry.
Get out.
He asks if you had to choose between one Flash that wasn't Barry Allen to be the one and only Flash, who would it be, why, and what run of Barry's do you think would be the most fun to read with them as the protagonist?
So Wally West is like the given answer, and my favorite Barry storyline is year one. That being said, Wally West already has a year one, so that just does not cut it for me. I'm gonna go with. I mean, there's like so there's the Flash family for anybody who's not like super into Flash. There's like the Flash family, which is like Barry and Wally, his nephew, and Bart, his grandson from the future. But then there's like the extended Flash family of like Max Mercury and Jesse Quick and stuff like that. So like throw one of those in there and let me get a year one of like Max Mercury or like Jesse Quick. Max Mercury is the speedster of Zen or whatever, so he does a lot of what's the you cross your legs and you the Zenyatta thing. He thinks about stuff. I don't know what the word is, but meditating. Thank you. He meditates a lot. So
I know how that feels. Gage
Yeah.
called me out on it.
man,
I'm still just trying to wrap my head around the fact that there's more than 3 Flashes.
there's so the
A lot of timelines.
yeah there
like,
is
why?
in Josh Williamson's run. In Josh Williamson's run, there is, and they like never touch on it again. And I freaked out. I love this that there's like a flash of all timelines or whatever all in one building. And so he's like pitching like this problem or whatever. I can't even remember what it is anymore, but he's like pitching this problem and it's like all the flashes of like all these timelines. And I was like, this is fucking dope.
That's pretty amazing.
You've got like the one from Kingdom Come that like is all like vibrating and you can't see him. And it's like, it was a cool shout out. Yeah, there's like so many flashes that like technically that's a technicality because like technically like Max Mercury and Jesse Quick aren't flashes. I actually cannot remember what their deal is. I believe they were introduced in like the Mark Waid run of like the 80s and the 90s. And Mark Waid gets a lot of credit in the comic world, but his Flash, I'll get a lot of heat for this. Not the best in my opinion. He's got some stinkers in there. And so when I was like going through, when I was going through, okay, there's my finger. All from this white book right here, man, pixel count's hella small. From this like white book to like this white book is all like Flash stories. I was trying to like collect them all. And I was like, yeah, this Mark Waid thing's not working. And they're like $30 a pop, and I'm just like, I ain't about to do it. But so yeah, that's this is a original comic art from Flash 750, and this is a animation cell from the Justice League Unlimited cartoon of Flash doing like this, hey. And
Nice.
so yeah, that's like, I would say like one of the Flash family people. Give them a year one tale. That would be cool.
What do you think
Speaking
of
of-
this Impulse poster that's just been released?
I was about to ask, what do you think of the Jordan Fisher Flash?
Oh, I feel so bad for him because like everybody's just dogging on him, and I'm like, he looks, it's par for the course for CW, honestly. Like,
Yeah, and it's not going to look that bad in the show.
It's not his fault that the poster looks bad.
yeah, exactly. It's like there's like the famous Supergirl scene of her fighting, or maybe she's with Martian Manhunter, but it was back when it was on CBS, and she like does she does like a flip, and they like just hold on one of her frames and like just move her PNG over pretty much, and it's just like so bad. And there's like people, I was looking in the comments, and people are like calling out a lot of the moments. Like the Flash is one of the better ones, but the CW DC shows are not the best with a lot of CG. Sometimes they like nail it, but a lot of times they really like to adapt the like bigger people, like I think that was King Shark before, but now King Shark is like a thing that everybody knows. But them, and then also, I cannot remember her name, but this is such a weird call, I'm sorry. She's the Strength Force user in the most recent, all like strength and speed and wisdom and some other thing all had their forces, and Barry had to bring them together. And I think that got adapted to the CW show. I have, this is a weird tangent. I have improv classes on Tuesdays, which run right on top of the Flash. So I haven't got to see the Flash in forever.
Are these improv classes like on Congress?
It's the same company, but it is
different
through
place.
Zoom.
Oh, okay.
But it's the same. It's the Hideout Theater. It's been really
Hideout.
cool, by the way. Yeah.
The Hideout's really cool. That's definitely one of those places where, like, if you're not walking down Congress, you're never gonna find it.
Yeah, it's such a cool. Like, I haven't tweeted about it. I was going to after I finish this next week, which is like the first of level 1. But it's been super cool to like kind of stretch my creative limits and see, they'll just put you in situations or whatever, and like I'm pretty good at stuff like this. And, y'all are just firing questions, and I can easily do something like that. But when they're like, all right, you got to have a conversation, and every word starts with the next letter in the alphabet, but it still has to make sense in the story. It's like stuff like that you just never think about, that you're like trying to come up with stuff on the fly. So it's been really cool. It's been a cool way to spend the last few weeks.
And now, Corey, there's a question that we ask everyone that comes on the show. So you may not know, but it involves one Greg Miller and how he's able to be everywhere at all times. So, he can be hosting a show, and somehow all of a sudden he's on another show at the same time, and then he's tweeting. It's crazy, dude. He's everywhere. Maybe this is a spoiler. Maybe he is the Flash. My question for you is, how can he be everywhere at all places? What is Greg Miller? That's the question.
So Greg is this omnipotent being who just knows too many. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's that director interview, right? My brain, I've got all kinds of big words now. And he is so fantastic at this. I'm going to give a serious-ish answer, where I've learned to watch. So sometimes when I tweet out a GIF that I like, if they're still live, I'll see his, or this goes for a lot of people, but Greg is always on point with it. You'll see his eye line and you can see his facial expression change for a second, and then he'll go back into whatever mode, and then you get like notification of a like or a retweet or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's fascinating. I would love to know, like, is it TweetDeck? Do you just have like just regular Twitter up? What's going on here? My brother has a story about RTX a few years back, where I believe it was Michael Jones from AH that Greg hugged or held like a baby or something like that. And my brother posted it to Instagram, which is like Greg is versed in all of them, I feel like, but I feel like I associate Greg with Twitter. But he's also like super ingrained in Insta. And my brother posts this picture and it's just like hashtag RTX and everything. And within minutes, Greg has shared it. And Greg was not tagged in it. Greg was not like anything like that. And it was like, it blew my brother's mind. And it was really funny because my brother got hit up by somebody and was like, hey, I want to print this picture out. Is that okay with you? And Colby was like, yeah, sure, I guess. And
It wasn't Mark Freeman, was it, for the Kind of Funny Museum?
I don't think it was, but that would be hilarious if it was. I never even thought about that.
It's funny that you say like he's so ingrained in Instagram and Twitter, because Greg always says his favorite social media site is Reddit.
Yeah,
That's what he
I was
said.
about to call out Reddit. So for me, I associate the man with Twitter, but I know he's in Instagram, and then I also like know he's in Reddit. I think his plan, I think what he does is that he sets aside time where he's not going to go on socials. If I had to speculate about him, I would imagine that him and Jen have a time set aside where they don't go on socials, and then anything else is free game. Because I'll post something at like 10 a.m. my time, which is 8 a.m. for them, and I'm like, none of them are awake now. And I've gotten to where the point where I used to feel like I needed to tag them all, and then I'm like, I don't need to. Like, even if they're just like in there a little bit, I would have tagged them. But now I'm just like, I just tag like the main person or whatever. And but now it's funny because that man gets a hold of everything, whether he's in it or not. And I'm like, It's like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning where you are. What are you doing on Twitter, man? Like, so I don't know. It is very admirable because I'm over here like, I'll get a tweet with like minimal traction, huge for me, but minimal in the grand scheme of things, of like, oh, you got 600 likes or whatever. And it's like, I just can't do anything else on Twitter for an hour and a half or whatever. Like, that's just all it is. The PS5 post back when I got my PS5, and I got the digital edition PS5, and it came in the digital edition box.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That post that took off and had like 5,000 likes, it was like Twitter was just unusable for me for a little while. And I feel like
Your
that's
phone
how
was just basically gone at that point. You just can't touch your phone anymore.
Yeah, I do like Twitter at a certain point. It's just like, we're not going to notify you. Like, we'll just keep it. And then when you open up Twitter, it's got like the little 50 plus thing or whatever it is, and you're just like, okay, this was a good. It's only happened to me like once or twice. The PS5 was like the main one, but yeah, it's very interesting. Because that's how his Twitter has to be all the time. Like I think he has it on not like notifications, but I think he has it on mentions. That's my other theory about the man. I have a lot of working theories because it is very admirable how he does it, and it's crazy how much he's on it. Like without it impacting content too, which is the other big thing. Because like when he was drinking wine on the wine stream, I can't think of what the game was, but the Vineyard afternoon stream. But he was like, take a picture with you in fancy clothes and holding a wine or whatever you want to drink. And he was playing the game, and you could see him, his eye line move to a second monitor, and like he'd be retweeting stuff all the time. But he was still engaged with the live stream and Twitch and playing the game and everything. And so those are the times where I'm like, yeah, this is why you are as popular as you are and as good at what you do as you are,
So being a
because
professional.
yeah, it's so
Talented
good.
dude.
Or insane, because that could be it too.
Or insane.
I think the one recently that really got me was when was it the Photoshop I did for Kamal, because I'm a good friend and I know he likes Monster Hunter and kind
You
of
can
funny.
fuck right off with that Photoshop.
So I had to
I
do.
was so
had to do-
excited, and he just ruins the game for me.
So I thought I'll be a nice friend and I'll make a Milk Mummy kind of like crossover Monster Hunter Photoshop just for Kamal. Didn't tag anyone, do anything, just put it out there on Twitter because I thought it'd be funny. And I have no idea to this day how he saw that and just retweeted it. I have no idea. He doesn't follow me. Like, I have no idea. It's crazy.
It's magical of how the man does it. I think the other thing that he does is he has like moles without the moles knowing they're moles, because Twitter will tell you if there's a certain amount of people who that you follow
Or
like
who
a
liked
thing.
it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he also like pays attention to that, where it's like, oh, if this amount of community members that he follows likes a thing and it pops up on his feed, he's like, oh, dope. So he can kind of keep his finger on the pulse at the same time.
Here's
I've
the thing
never
with
really
that
like,
Photoshop. That Photoshop had been out for like 5 minutes. We were on party chat. There's hardly anyone looking at it, and then all of a sudden, Greg Miller out of nowhere. And as soon as Greg Miller retweets it, it just blows up.
yeah,
If I'm
it's
honest,
gone.
I didn't really want that to get out there too much.
Yeah.
I had a
It
moment
was just
where
a dumb joke for Kamal so he could see.
I thought that was like the warning for you, Ben. Yet you don't stop. You just keep. You just
learn,
keep
I'll never
making them.
learn.
You keep
I had a moment
making
with
them.
Greg where I was terrified that he found something. Because in December, I made a tweet like for Greg. He retweeted it. That got like 500 likes or whatever. Because that's baby numbers for Greg. But during the FCF, I was on Aces Wild podcast and I retweeted it and I said, fuck Joe Montana. And Greg liked it. And I was so scared.
Is he
I was
searching for like stuff? Is he searching for Joe Montana?
I didn't
he
mention
follows-
Greg. He
follows
Brandon.
Jose, yeah.
Yeah, I know. But like that scared the hell out of me because I did not mention Greg at all. I just all my tweets said, because it was a retweet of Brandon's like push link. It was like all I said was fuck Joe Montana and Greg liked it. And I was just like,
As he should.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Now, Ben, I have a community question from myself, from at Corey Cudney.
Oh wow!
He's a longtime listener, first time commenter.
I'm a big fan of his.
Do you find that you have to continually up the game with your Photoshops, or like because I feel like, and I could be misplacing this, I feel like I've watched your Photoshops grow and improve so remarkably since the KFAF, like when like you like really popped on everybody's radar, to where you are now, where it's like the thing that always stuck out to me in the KFAF Photoshop challenges was when Andy would mention people matching like shadows and lighting sources and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's a really good point. Like a lot of people don't do that. And then I'll notice that like y'all have like upped your game so much to where you are now, it's like, you know, pretty seamless. Like obviously like the Milk Mommies, but some of the one that got me so much was the my post on the Resident Evil Village, where somebody summoned you and you put the Milk Mommy on there almost immediately, and it fit so well. Like I knew it was Kevin, but like a lot of people wouldn't. So do you find that like things are just so much easier now than they used to be, and you've grown a lot because of this silly KFAF thing?
Oh, absolutely. You just definitely you get faster over time, like anything, I guess, and you develop and build on your skills. But I did a post, I think yesterday, and it has my very first entry that didn't actually get picked, understandably so, for KFA, not KFAF, or sorry, for KFAF. So I posted it out because it's like it would be fun to actually go back and actually just remake that with the skills that I know now. So
yeah, I
posted it out yesterday, and yeah, I mean I had no idea what I was doing back then. I still don't know what I'm doing now, but it's definitely I'm getting quicker and I'd say questionably better at it. So, but
now,
yeah,
Gage, I have a community question for you.
Okay.
From Archer Cudney. He's a small furry friend of the show.
Okay.
Rank your cardboard backgrounds. Go.
My cardboard backgrounds, huh?
I see 3. I see Spider-Man, Days Gone, and Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. I
And
gotta.
a bottle of lotion, very strategically placed. I didn't want to call it out, but
Yeah.
I'm throwing it out.
Nice, proud of that.
Thing has been there for like I haven't even like cracked it open yet. It's just been, it's just been sitting there. It's like
Special occasion for that one.
Corey's neighbors would say it's really important.
Yeah.
summertime.
Ironically,
It's
Corey's neighbors have
dry.
also like increased their
Dry
skills
skins.
and got
God.
faster at it.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
I learned from Terry Crews, you got to moisturize after every shower, and I have done it since then.
Maybe
'Cause
that's
Terry
what your
Crews
neighbors
does
are
not
doing.
lie.
They just have a lot of
They're
lubricant.
Yeah.
moisturizing very vigorously.
So that Spider-Man one is actually plastic. It's actually high quality plastic. It's
okay.
which is super
Okay.
nice.
So doesn't count.
So it doesn't count.
Days
Yeah,
Gone
that's
is
what-
like less high quality plastic. So the Thor Ragnarok is actually the only cardboard display I have in here. Although I do
Number
have
one.
like a bunch of like just like the branding signs they would put up on the
in the DVD holder.
yeah, in those
I
and
felt like Game
on
of
the
Thrones one of those when I worked at Best Buy.
yeah, I got a bunch of like Red Dead Redemption ones. I've got the big PlayStation backing we had on our PlayStation aisle, so it's like 4 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and it's just the blue with the sacred symbols scattered on it. It's really cool. Just don't really have anywhere
Nice.
to put it, so it's just rolled up in another room. So I guess Thor Ragnarok wins because it's the only one.
Caesar,
Shit though.
I have a community question for
Go
you.
for it. Go for it.
Love this.
This is unprecedented.
To be fair, it is
Corey's
his show.
just like full like,
It-
like
it
look
is
at
his
me, look at
episode.
me.
He can do whatever he wants.
I'm the captain now.
I love it.
he can do whatever he wants. It's his
Favorite,
episode.
favorite name on the backboard.
Oh, don't
You
make me
can't
pick.
choose me. You can't choose me.
Don't make me pick.
Favorite magnet on the background.
Those are magnets. Those are stickers.
Favorite sticker on
That's
the background.
okay.
I'll be Andy Cortez,
Uh,
surely.
There's a peek. There's a couple. You can't see them because they're really tiny, but there's a bunch of Pokemon stickers.
Nice.
Kind of
what
like this
Pokemon?
from like the Happy Meal that they had.
Oh, Camille
Solid.
loves that. Oh, bruv, you've
Yeah.
got Pokemon on there. Boy.
Pocket monsters. But I would say, if anything, my favorite thing on the board, you can't even see it. 'Cause this is how big this board is. Is that painting over there?
The little, it looks like Reptar.
That's my sister did Kermit the Frog.
Oh, that's correct.
That's amazing.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. That's a
And
solid.
It's incredible.
yeah, she did that for me. So that's my favorite thing on the board.
Aww.
And also, there's a Whataburger cup next to it.
I see that. Respect. I
Nice.
respect it. McKenna, believe it or not, I have a community question for you.
What? Oh,
Favorite patch notes edit?
She does
Matt
a lot.
Batson. Probably Matt Batson was on Background Easter, and we did like a cold open, and I got to edit that together. And just Matt Batson in general, having him on was a blast. I think the
So-
recording was like an
He's
hour.
incredible.
Did you see that episode, Corey?
I haven't, no.
So there's like a cold open for because the week of that episode was April Fool's,
Mhm.
but the episode didn't land on April Fool's. So I was like, how stupid would it be if we just did like an April Fool's joke on Matt as a bit? And that's what that was.
I have something else for that
Beautiful.
episode. I
There was a lot in that episode they
keyframed
did.
Okay, so this was when the Suez Canal thing happened, and someone did it in Microsoft Flight Sim. And so, and Matt made a joke saying Tom Cruise jumped off the wing. So I keyframed Tom Cruise on the wing of the TikTok, jumping off
Playing
the
on
plane.
Flight Simulator.
Well, yeah, the plane on the flight sim, and that was fun because I haven't keyframed something in a while.
That Matt
Yeah.
Batson episode is one of she put a lot of work into that episode.
That was a lot of fun.
Kumail, I didn't get any questions for you, unfortunately.
That's
I was
fine. I'm used to it, Corey. I
hoping for
immediately knew where this was going. But no, my favorite Pokemon's Totodile. Thanks for asking, Corey.
What's your favorite Pocket Monster and Monster Hunter?
Look, Celebi is the best. Gen 2 is the best.
Yeah, Gen 2 is the best. Can't argue there, Corey.
I'm with you.
I'm feeling that this episode is wrapping up, but I think I just want to put this out there that thank you, Corey, for being one of the most inspirational people out there and one of the most positive voices in the community. And like, I just want to let you know, please keep it up. We really appreciate you, and we'll love to have you back at some point.
Thank you so much. Yes, I didn't ever think that I would be like a voice in the community, and I'm glad that I can be, and I've had a blast. So I would be on anytime y'all want me.
You're amazing, dude. Thank you.
Next time I'm in Austin, let's get Whataburger.
Let's do it. I haven't had Whataburgers in years, like literal years. I will do
Whataburgers?
Actually,
Whataburger.
I know. I'm just talking about that.
Camille, it's
Actually-
Whataburger. Whataburger.
I have an idea. But I'll reach out to you later.
Okay, deal.
Oh no.
That sounds bad.
I regret everything.
You should. You should. All right. Any more closing remarks from people before we wrap?
No, I was gonna say this is a lot of fun, and hopefully now Corey will follow me back on Twitter.
Oh, you're gonna have to pay Corey like £10 for that. You started this.
Just wait till you're famous off that
good.
birthday gift, too.
So funny if he puts that out and like still hasn't followed me and it's like,
If that becomes a thing, I'm using that for every happy birthday message going forward.
Dude,
Yeah, my
same.
word. 'Cause
I
they-
don't even know what it looks like because I was looking at the camera and my
it's
frame is
fantastic.
over here,
It was
so it's like I
amazing.
could not see at all what I was doing.
It was
you,
like
you
the
nailed it.
creepiest thing I've ever seen. It was perfect.
So good.
Is it like Ron McDonald Joker creepy or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ronald McDonald Joker, I feel like is going to wear my skin. So no.
Okay,
Yours was just kind of like, hey,
uncomfortable.
like I'm in the public restroom and you're
I
watching me go
I don't
away,
want to be
sort
in
of
the
thing.
same room as this guy. I don't want to be in the same
Yeah.
room as this person.
It was just that kind of, I want to rub oil over you kind of look, you know?
Nope.
Did y'all ever have those Ronald McDonald VHS tapes?
Yes,
They're
dude. I
orange.
have some. My sister has them in her room.
They
I'm
were
gonna need some context.
fantastic. They
We
were
can talk about this after.
fantastic.
What is on those tapes? Is it like
The Wacky
They're
Adventures
animated
of a
shows.
Ronald McDonald.
Incriminating evidence.
yeah, I was gonna say like
And that
it seems like
has
some
been
sort of,
out of our league. Corey, where can the people find you?
hey Camille, it's in
Corey
your show.
Cudney. Find me wherever at Corey Cudney. I'm there.
Camille, where can
Right
people
there,
find
we'll
you?
put that right there on the screen. Right there.
Put it
No, I
right
won't.
There's work to do.
Put it right.
I don't want to edit. Stop.
I feel you, man.
And you can also see this giant clown up here. And then over here,
Look, he's doing a
we have
cartwheel.
even
now.
more stuff.
Oh, there reminds me.
It's gonna put an arrow point towards me for the clown comment. Thank you very much for that.
Nice. Every time you make me edit something, I'm just gonna push the release of this episode back a day. It's like, I gotta add text to this 5 seconds right here. It's gonna take me a day. Take me a whole day. Sorry guys.
It's like the episode of SpongeBob where he's just like, I don't really feel like it.
Sounds about right. Ben, where can people find you?
You can find me at twitch. Blah, blah, blah. Where am I? What am I doing? Twitter.com/please be excited. Twitch.com/please be excited. No. You can find me on Twitch. Please be excited on Twitch. It's early here in New Zealand, or at least it was. That's where you can find me. Please be excited on all these socials and on Twitter and Twitch.
Camille?
That's a thing.
You can find me at pokeramble.com or you can find me at Camille H on Twitch and Twitter.
H.
You can fuck off, GH. You can fuck off.
You can find me at Caesar Towers on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, maybe TikTok, depending on how I'm feeling or whatever. Linktr.ee. Wait. Yeah, linktr.ee/patch notes to check out my video game news show, Patch Notes, where we talk about the video game news you need to know about from the last week in under 15 or 10 minutes, depending on how long I want the episode to go. Or depending on how long the edits are. I don't know.
How many
How long
mad
does it-
edits McKenna's made? Like 5,000 edits in one video.
There's
I'm only at
something
like
absurd.
150 cuts. I still have 20 more minutes to edit.
this episode is a long episode because
It is. It's
a
already
lot
at 9.5 minutes.
a lot of stuff happened this week, so I'll say under 15 minutes this week. That's all I'll say. Hopefully.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Concerned little face.
I'm gonna have to cut stuff if you want that.
We'll see. Hopefully. There's a story you could cut.
And
You'll probably know which one it
50
is.
minutes.
I love how almost this entire show, like now we have it for patch notes, but earlier it was for Simply Sassy. It's like just behind the scenes, us just talking over everything we're doing. It's like, oh man, I forgot to do this one thing last week on that one show. Oh shit, let's talk about that for 10 minutes.
This is a big news week.
I
That's
love
all
it.
I'll say.
It's
There's
so
a lot of
good.
stuff that happened this week.
It's content. I love it.
What are you talking about? Nothing
Caesar's
political
no
happened in
stranger
the
to
gaming
cutting
space.
things.
McKenna, where can people find you?
Oh, me, at PotterPants212 on Twitter, and then there's a link in my bio to everything else that I'm in, because there's enough. A lot of stuff.
A lot of awesome stuff.
Oh, thank you. You're too kind.
All right. Kat, where can we find you?
Kitty!
Look at the camera.
Ah,
Big kit.
Oh,
I got a
You
kid.
can find that cat at Meow Space.
Oh, that's a good one.
How old is
That's a
that
good one,
cat?
Camille.
4 maybe.
oh.
Yeah.
Mine's like 5 months, and it's tiny compared to that.
Yeah, Archer's huge. He's too big. Ow. And he likes to bite. Again, evidenced by the hand.
Right? Dang!
just like your neighbors.
Oh wow.
Really went in there.
He goes for the kill, man.
Let them on your neighbors now.
Yeah.
Just like sit there, right, cat. You know what to do. Oh, this has been a fun episode.
It has been. It's been very
Thank you
fun.
for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you guys
Thank you for
all
having
so much for being here. This was a lot of fun. Thank you guys out there so much for watching. We don't do this enough on the shows, but if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff. I mean, please. We need
How
the
was my
views.
Australian
Desperate.
accent? Was it good?
Please.
I'll do it.
It was convincing.
Thank you.
I love how Camille always gives
No
me
comment.
Camille gives me the most shit for not like outroing the shows, and then while I'm
I don't-
outroing
no,
the
no,
show,
no.
he
We
starts
still
talking
go.
again. I'm in the middle of the outro. It's like, oh,
That
was
was
my
one
Australian
time
accent
gauge.
good? Was my Australian accent good? You think it was good? Oh, bro,
You can mute him,
ain't
Gage.
good.
You can mute him.
God, should mute himself.
That will be. What Gage is forgetting? I'm the Simply Sassy Vids like fucking Discord owner, so like there'll be fucking war if that happens.
I'll just make a new one.
No, okay,
Discord
sorry.
servers are free, bitch.
That's true. I forgot about it.
Gage,
I
where
haven't-
can people
I
find
don't-
you?
What?
Never mind. Yeah.
Where can people find you, Gage?
My own personal hell. I'm bringing that joke back.
YouTube.com/simplysassy.
YouTube.com/Simply Sassy Vids. Twitter.com @Simply Sassy Vids. Yeah, it's Simply Sassy Vids on there. And yeah, GF2 cool, same everywhere.
TOO.
Yes, TOOCOOL. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Oh.
Is it you telling me it's not KEWL?
Shut up.
Okay, bye.
Ending the show.
Bye.